good evening, and welcome back once again to The Witcher RPG right here on Hyper RPG. I am your GM, GMLE. First of all, thank you, J Pistol, for that wonderful bardic recap of last week's episode. In addition, I didn't get to mention this last week, thank you, Fabienne, for outfitting our wonderful players, including myself, on The Witcher RPG. So thank you to both of those individuals for making this RPG very, very special and fun. For those of you who are joining us and did not see last week's episode, we are doing a 4-part exploration into the Witcher RPG, the world of The Witcher, especially after the success of the recent Netflix series, in addition to the success of the video games as well. So there are a lot of ways that you actually can be a part of tonight's Witcher story. You can do so by visiting oneshot.straylogic.com, and there's a number of incentives that you can participate in. For example, with $15 hashtag coin, you get to toss a coin to your Witcher, which is offering any of our characters a reroll. So yes, we are playing within the Witcher RPG system from our Talsorian games. It is a very, very fun system, and we're in fact playing more along in the easy mode version of the game that you can get. I believe you can still get it for free on drivethrurpg.com. So our characters will need these rerolls. Sometimes it's pretty hard to achieve what you're doing in the Witcher world. The Witcher world is an unforgiving, dark, fantastical world. So they may need some rerolls tonight. That's at $15 with hashtag coin. Then at $25 with hashtag alchemy, you get to give a character a potion that I will roll, and it will see, determining by a d6, we'll see which skill it enhances. So be sure to tonight, I know last week it was a random chance, but I'll give you the power tonight to tell us which character you want which potion to go towards. So if there's an alchemy potion that is unlocked, just simply tell me the character after you type in hashtag alchemy, and then we'll roll to see what skill is enhanced for that character momentarily. And that is at hashtag alchemy at $25. Then at $50 we have hashtag Tales of Old, where we will be, we'll get a flashback scene into that character's life and their backstory. We got to see a few really interesting backstories last week. There's some characters at the table who we've yet to see backstory flashbacks to, so perhaps we will see them tonight. It is all up to you all, the audience, and if you're interested, you can also build towards flashbacks together. You can build towards incentives together as well, and that is at hashtag Tales at $50. Then at $75, we've got hashtag Monster, which is a random monster shows up. I will roll a d10. I'll find the coordinating monster number in my wonderful The Witcher RPG manual, and our players will have to fight that monster. We saw last week when Marilka and Ciri ended up going off alone. That's when a monster was triggered. So luckily it wasn't anything that required good old Geralt's silver sword. Yeah. You lucked out on that one. Will they luck out tonight? We don't know. You will decide. And then at $100, we have hashtag law, and that is, of course, the law of surprise. Now, we saw last week that we had Jaskier and Geralt make a promise of a law. Jaskier promised Geralt that he would, definitely next time Geralt asked for it, he would protect whoever Geralt needed protecting and keep them at bay and not letting them leave or escape. And then Jaskier also made a law of surprise bond with Geralt's horse Roach.
That's the real one, folks.
In which you have promised, Jaskier has promised Roach oats in as a debt for Roach saving Jaskier in battle. So you can create a law of surprise bond between two characters of your choosing. That is a hashtag law at $100. Now we do have a goal tonight. It's at $1,000, and once we hit that, we will give away a copy of The Witcher RPG version 2, I believe signed. And then also something that we're building to, if we hit our goal last week, that's 1 week down, for tonight and then that following 2 weeks, if we hit our goal each night, then we will offer into the chat on the final night the chance, I believe it'll be a raffle of sorts, or yes, a random selection or giveaway that we will allow the chat to name a character in the upcoming compendium of the Witcher RPG. So you get to name an NPC that will be featured in the Witcher RPG. So yes, let's meet that goal tonight, and I want to give you guys that chance to name an NPC, because how cool is that? Getting to have your own character in a tabletop RPG manual. But enough about that. Let us, once again, dive back into the dark world of The Witcher. We find our 5 heroes on a dirt path. Slightly behind them is a bridge over a river. Adjacent to that river is an inn that our characters are all too familiar with. An inn where they had just slain a Noonwraith, and along with that had accidentally unearthed some dark stories and paths for those two that live in the inn. Our 5 characters are currently being escorted to the town of Darkney by Olna, an older woman who has just told Geralt that she was friends with Vesemir, Geralt's old companion and trainer from Kaer Morhen. Geralt the Witcher is currently on his way to Kaer Morhen, and with him is Ciri, Princess Sorella, her full name, and now his ward, as promised to him by the law of surprise. Sorella is the only living heir, and it is up to Geralt to ensure that not only she survives, but also she lives on. And along with Geralt and Ciri, we have Jaskier the Bard, Geralt's friend of sorts, who has actually helped Geralt's public image throughout the past years, weaving stories and tales of his epic adventures, the monsters he's slain, and perhaps has even brought out a smile on Geralt's face as well. But slightly behind them, Yennefer walks in tow. Yennefer, a powerful mage, and perhaps something more to Geralt, a love interest, a trusted friend. Who knows? 2 individuals blessed and cursed by the magic that has made them. But that is what has brought them together. And finally, Marilka, examining her short bow, making sure it's in peak condition, having slain wolves the night before. Marilka is a survivor of Blaviken, a former ward of a wizard, who is now, as she has grown up, taken on a mercenary life, leaving Blaviken, and now hopes and dreams of becoming a witcher herself.
Not gonna happen.
Whatever. The 5 of you walk. It's a pleasant summer day. The sun feels warm on your cheeks. You hear the slight chirping of birds in the trees around you as the mountains in the distance have a gentle snowfall cresting their peaks.
Look at the scene. The scene is worth a song, worth a new song, I think.
You have a new song?
Yes, I always have a new song. There's always a new song.
Please serenade us.
Oh, I worry though. I worry that it's a bit melancholy for where we are right now.
Do it.
Well, it might help us process what we went through a little bit better, and maybe inspire someone to take up the bardic arts as a profession. I have inspired such folks before. But
it's going to be a bard because you can't be a witcher.
I'm going to be a witcher.
That was the subtext, yes, but thank you for spelling that out, Ciri. So yeah, let's start with something maybe melancholy like, "An inn by a river, baked apples at noon. The sun burns hot over a field that's a tomb. A brother covets his own brother's bride. A father can't see it, made blind by his pride. In love and in sorrow, inside us they stay. The ghosts in our hearts can walk in the day. Not even a witcher can keep them at bay. The ghosts in our hearts will walk in the day. Shadows won't hide them, these sins in the night. The flames of our passions must all come to light. With fire and silver one day's battle won. But the father love sets on his last living son. In love and in sorrow, inside us they stay. The ghosts in our hearts can walk in the day. Not even a witcher can keep them at bay. The ghosts in our hearts will walk in the day. That's the kind of feedback I like, yes. Unadorned praise, but deserved.
It was better than the last one.
Thank you, thank you. How does this pie taste?
I found
Slightly
it quite.
more filling, I guess.
Okay, well, thank you, thank you. I know that means a lot coming from you.
That was beautiful.
And our guide, what did you think of my bardic skill?
You look up and you see Olna is just like while she's riding her horse, she is absolutely just transfixed on you, Yaskir. That was one of the most beautiful and haunting songs I've heard in a while. We don't really have too many bards of your caliber in Darkney, and so your talents will be welcomed there greatly. Oh, and is that from a recent inspiration? How horrible.
Yes, I've tried to leave it sort of vague. I feel the audience likes to put their own emotions into it, but yes, that is a recounting of our recent experiences, I believe.
Geralt says if we give him too much praise, he's going to get a big head about it.
Why are we
Too late
talking
for
about
that.
pies?
That is true.
I wouldn't give him too much credit. But that was beautiful.
Thank you, thank you.
It was.
Where are we going?
We are headed to the great town of Darkney. It is where I reside. It is where I assist and hold a figurative position. But it is on your way to Kaer Morgan, as I am assuming you are headed there, Geralt of Rivia.
Is that where we're
Yes.
heading?
You said you mentioned you knew Vesemir.
Yes.
How so?
Well, at one point in our lives, Vesemir and I were friends. You could even say good friends. He knew my half-brother, who was a witcher trained at the School of the Wolf.
Would I know this witcher or no?
You probably have heard of him, but
Okay.
she rides. You see her eyes kind of start to look off far in the distance as she's recalling past memories and thoughts. Sorry, yes.
I assume this witcher isn't with us anymore.
No, my brother, or my half-brother, sorry, Corvo. You see, he unfortunately perished slightly after his trials and transformation. Everything went well, but it was on his first, hunt as a witcher. He got too cocky, too big for his britches, and lost his life to a royal griffin. Or that's what Vesemir told me.
Griffins are one of the most dangerous creatures out there.
My condolences.
Yes.
Thank you. But yes, there seems to be... Perhaps there's something you can help me out with in Darkney. I can provide you with free lodgings, food, water, all you need.
Coin.
Yes, coin for the Witcher,
Thank
of
you.
course. And yes, let me know whatever I can do to help you. These are dark and terrifying times.
What is it you need our help with?
And as soon as you say that, Ciri, you hear the of an arrow as it hits the ground in front of you.
Quick!
I take my
You hear
sword out.
Olna's horse start to as it whinnies and bucks with her on it. Her scarlet like velvety dress kind of waving in the wind. She reins back the horse. Oh, well, Ciri, you're about to find out.
That's not what I didn't want that at all.
You need to stop talking. Just stop talking.
Oh, what do you think it was going to happen? if I
Get ready,
didn't
you two.
Come
We're
out.
under attack.
You see, Olna just sits there on her horse, almost as if waiting for something. And then almost from the trees, you don't see the figures behind the trees, but instead they almost move from the side of them, almost out of nowhere. You see 3 Scoia'tael, 3 elven gorilla fighters walk out and approach you. They're wearing a brandishing of light tan armor on top of these kind of dark greens and dark aqua and turquoise tunics. Their faces are decorated with painting, and you see that each of them has a bow drawn and pointed towards your group.
We don't want any trouble. I suggest you move along before you get yourself hurt.
You see there's a Scoia'tael that comes towards the front. A woman with cropped brown hair. She steps up and approaches and addresses you, Geralt.
And we don't want any trouble either.
We're just passing by. That is all.
You're passing by with someone very interesting.
Who might that be?
You see the Scoia'tael looks up and sees Olna.
So, they're headed to Darkney with you, Olna?
Olna simply stares back at the young woman. Yes, they are. You see that the 2 elves in the back start to talk to each other, murmuring under their breath in Elvish.
I speak the Elder tongue. Can
You
I,
do.
Can I overhear any of what they're saying?
I'm gonna have you roll for that. So let's roll your speech, your elven speech, and the difficulty of 13.
Okay. Let's see. I add to my intelligence.
You
Intelligence.
you should have it. Should be under like your special.
Oh, it's
skills.
already added together. Great. So I got an 11 total.
11. Would you
So-
like to use a reroll?
Reroll.
Yeah.
We do have
yeah, I
rerolls.
think
When we
so.
do have
Let's find out
rerolls.
what these chaps are on about. Let's see. That's better. That's a 13.
Wonderful. With a 13, yes. You first, it's a little hard to hear simply because of the distance, but then you start to pick up on their conversation. You see that it's an older woman elf talking to a younger male elf. You know that's a witcher, right? Perhaps he can help us out after all. I don't know. I don't really want to get involved with witches. Don't really like the looks of this one and the company he's keeping.
You're right. Perhaps it's not really a witcher. I thought witchers were to travel alone. This seems to be some kind of a circus performing group or a bizarre family of sorts.
Whatever they do,
There we are.
they better not help out Olna with the tree. The Scoia'tael comes up to you, Geralt.
Are you gonna let us pass or not?
That depends on what you're doing here. Are you going to cause any trouble for these woods? Or perhaps for the town of Darkney?
Like I said, we don't want any trouble. We're just passing through. But if trouble comes to us, then we must deal with it
Agreed.
accordingly.
All trouble must be hit head on. Olna! You have 5 days to reconsider my offer. That is what we came to tell you today, but we did not expect you were having company. I hope your company is not a response to the offer I made. No, Rashawn. It is not. Simply travelers of old acquaintances that I've met on the road. Nothing more.
Olna, do you mind telling us what is going on here with these Scoia'tael?
Yes, there just seems to be a disagreement with our elven friends here. A disagreement? Oh, that's saying something. I'll tell you what, you pretty thing. There is a tree, a sacred elven tree, in her city that she is refusing to give up. Build the city around the tree. Keep the tree in the middle of the city. Use the tree's magical properties for yourself. No. In times of war are coming, and that tree belongs to the Elvish. And though we are few, we will take back what is ours. Now I have offered you peace. Peace and an exchange. Olna, I hope you reconsider it. for the sake of your town and your friends here. Goodbye.
As you see, Rashawn and the 2 other Scoia'tael elves make their way back into the woods, disappearing between the thicket.
Apologies. I didn't expect Rashawn to meet us on the path here, or perhaps interfere at all, but that is Scoia'tael for you, is it not?
Would the Scoia'tael affect what we're going to do at the city Darkney?
If I told you it would you turn around and leave, Geralt of Rivia? Or if I told you that I can pay you a great amount of coin for your service in assisting our town in whatever it needs, would you take that, or would you run?
Where there's coin, of which it comes, so what do you have?
Well, why don't we get there first? I'd hate for anyone to become skewered out here on the roads from our
That's concerning.
dear elven friends.
From the sounds of it, it sounds like we can get skewered in the city as well,
Oh,
if we're not too careful with these Scoia'tael.
Don't worry, the Scoia'tael, they are keeping to the woods these days. But we shall see what will happen in these next 5 days.
As Olna snaps the reins on her chestnut horse. Geralt, are you riding? Who is riding Roach at this time? Are you just holding Roach by the reins and everyone's on foot?
Yeah, I was assuming I was holding Roach and maybe
I'd like
you
to
two were on it.
I am
So,
most definitely on
yeah.
Roach.
You are definitely on
If
Roach.
she's on Roach, then I'm on Roach.
Wonderful. As Olna commands
I'm in
her
front,
horse to do a soft canter towards Darkney, Geralt, you lead Roach in tow, Ciri and Marilka riding Roach, and Yaskir and Yennefer following behind. It's only a short ride, perhaps an hour or so, as the sun has crested over its heights in the sky, when you see Darkney for the first time. For the wilderness that you are in, you are utterly surprised to see such a civilized town. There is a fortressing wall surrounding this medium-sized town. You hear the hustle and bustle of carriages, animals trading, people. You hear music playing in the distance, as well as rushing water being poured from a well. Stables are nested outside of the city's walls, and you see that there's a number of horses inside, leading you to believe that there are also a number of individuals in this town.
Geralt, what do you think that she wants you to do here?
I don't know, but I'm hoping to get some answers soon. Plus, I need some food.
Do you think she wants us to kill elves?
I doubt it. Maybe. I have no idea.
There's a conflict regarding that something in this town.
But that's not the witch's job.
5 days is a very specific timeline. What's supposed to happen then?
There was an offer. She said she had 5 days to accept or decline her offer.
But why 5
Oh, well.
days?
Because it sounds like they're going to invade if not.
I want to see this tree.
Yes,
Can I see
only.
the tree?
Where is this tree at?
Oh, the great tree.
Yes.
I'm sure you're referring to also to the one that the elves, the Scoia'tael, mentioned. Yes, well, feast your eyes. As in front of you, as the great doors to Darkney open, you step inside and you see this huge, beautiful tree almost like cresting over the tops of these apartments and homes of this city. As Olna leads you through Darkney, you finally find yourselves in the center of the city, where this tree has a very unique white albino base, and you see that the leaves outstretching are a beautiful, beautiful, almost crisp green with flecks of yellow, almost like gold splashed on them. There is a sense of calm and just peace that flows through you as you stand in the presence of this tree.
Yep, magic tree.
I can see why
Elven
everybody
magic
wants
tree.
it.
Absolutely. I can feel it.
I mean, it's a pretty tree, but No, just me. Okay.
Throughout the town square, you see that as this is the center of town, there is a number of vendors and merchants lined up around here. You see children playing bones in the middle of the street. You see an herbalist selling her wares, an armorer crafting a sword on an anvil, and a number of humans laughing, chatting, picking up food, apples for dinner that night, humming and joyfully living in this town. The sense, the attitude of the people in Darkney, ironic to its name, seem light, happy, joyful, almost unaware of the Nilfgaardian war that is almost to their doorstep.
Well, first I need to get some food. We need to get some food at least. It's been a journey.
I believe your friend offered to take care of such things.
Right, only.
Yes. Oh, yes. Let me take you to the finest establishment, or the finest tavern, I should say, in all of Darkney.
Excellent.
Thank you.
You make your way. It's very close to where this large tree is in the town square. It's almost you take a slight left, and there, on another corner, you see this big, beautiful tavern with these lovely hatched windows. You see that there's a second level where lodging is surely upstairs. You walk inside to the Maid's Burden. And you see that this tavern is filled with people, drinking, eating, chatting, a complete 180 degrees from the tavern you were last night. But there is no bard in this tavern, and almost upon seeing Jaskier enter, a drunken fellow at the bar sloshes and waves his goblet in the air and says, "There's a bard!"
Yes! I like your enthusiasm.
Oh boy.
Oh, we haven't seen a bard in so long. So long. Come sing one of your songs and make this merry. Just make it merry.
Why does no one in this town sing?
No, just...
They might try, but I'm sure that a backwater like this doesn't get artists of my level or repute.
Backwater.
So many people here.
This is a proper town.
I'm going
Roll
to
me a d10 with your social etiquette. And if you don't have it, it's your intelligence.
But I have a very high social etiquette of 7, which with that 9 is
A
a
difficult-
16. Ha-ha!
Wait.
Let me backpedal that a bit, friend. I misspoke. I had missed the rustic charm of this place on first glance, but now that I look a little bit more, I see everything here is artisanal, locally sourced. This is excellent. Excellent work. You should be proud of your town.
We should be proud of our town.
Very proud.
We should be proud of our town. You see him slam his mug onto the counter, and it shatters. And it gets all of his beer all over the gentleman next to him.
Oh my god.
The gentleman turns.
Oh my god, it's a bar fight.
Yes, good.
All right, I'm going to need 8 ales over here. For my friends.
It's not going to fix this problem. You've already started some sort
No.
of brawl.
Trust me, when they get their drinks, they'll settle down. At least they usually do.
He had a drink, he broke it.
Yeah, and he needs a new one.
The gentleman turns, and as he turns, you see that his ears are not like human ears, but are instead pointed, like an elf or perhaps half-elf. As almost within a flash, you don't even see it, his hand is cocked backwards, and then you see the drunken gentleman who just addressed you, Jaskier, flying against the other side of this bar, and there is now chaos erupting in this bar. Tables are being knocked over.
I tried, I
mugs
really did
being
try.
Thrown.
I'm gonna walk
This is
to
not
the
my
bar
fault.
while
You
this is
didn't. You
happening.
actually didn't, and I'm surprised.
I will say before the bar fight continues, we have 2 alchemy. We have 2 potions that must be given. Siri, you are getting a potion that is going to enhance your dexterity. So the next time you're going to do something dexterous, you will have a +3 to your dexterity. And Marilka, you will be getting a +3 once again to your intelligence. So the next time you use your intelligence,
She could use it.
You will have a +3. You see humans, a few dwarves, and half-elves all starting to brandish plates, mugs. One dwarf is grabbing a log that is currently on fire from the fireplace and is starting to throw it towards another human man.
Yeah, I'm just at the bar.
Is there any way?
This is the
I'm
best.
just at the bar.
I'm gonna walk over to Geralt.
Geralt, in order to get to the bar, I'm going to need you to roll me 1d10 plus, I'm going to say your dodge if you have a dodge ability, and if you don't, it'll just be a straight reflex, seeing if you're able to calmly walk through this bar as the cacophony is happening around you.
It's a 15.
15. I say you narrowly avoid an egg to the face, but somehow your Witcher senses kick in, and you're able to successfully make your way across the inn.
Thrown by me.
Oh, gesture,
I'm
please.
chasing after him. I assume I should roll the same thing.
All right.
All right, yes, you must also, the difficulty is a 15, so yes, you must also roll.
Okay. That was a 14. Do we have a reroll?
We have rerolls. Would you like to use a reroll?
Thank you, yes. That makes it a 15.
15, wonderful. Yes, Siri, you
Just made
narrowly dodge. Like there's a chair that almost this human woman is slamming this chair at this other woman, and it almost comes straight towards you, but it breaks almost the moment right in front of you as you're able to quickly skirt behind.
What is happening?
I turn to gesture and I ask him, please, I don't want to cast some sort of calming spell on them. Can you please whip up a song to just rally them together instead of against each other?
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh valley of... Can anyone hear me? Please stop fighting and shouting.
Yes,
Oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh... Is it working? Is it working?
Roll me a d10 plus your performance to see if your performance is captivating enough. I'll say it's pretty...
I can't work under these conditions. I've got a 12. Total of 12.
That's not going to cut it. Would you like to use a reroll?
No, I'd like to hide.
Yeah.
I tried my best.
That's not even trying. Oh, fine. I'm going to try and cast some sort of charming spell upon the room to maybe alleviate some of this.
I'm standing on a table.
No, that's the opposite approach.
Yes, here. As soon as you start strumming on your lyre, or your lute, I should say, you hear this dwarf behind you go, I hate bards, as you see him brandishing a large dinner fork, and it comes right towards your legs as you quickly maneuver yourself out of the way and then hide behind, I would say hide underneath the table.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Marilka, you are on top of a table.
Best view ever.
As you see a variety of vegetables and pots and plates are being flown kind of around you towards other people.
Is there like a tomato or something I can throw at Siri?
Oh boy.
You can try and, yes, I will say you can try and catch a tomato midair and toss it back towards
off
Siri.
of the table. Get off of the table.
Roll me. It's going to be very difficult.
Perfect.
Roll me 1d10 plus, I'll say your athletics.
Okay. I'm doing a reroll.
All right.
This is terribly important to you.
Oh no.
What did you roll?
A 10. Does that explode?
It does explode.
More.
So 17 plus my athletics? 30.
Marilka, it is almost impressive. It is a shame that this bar fight is happening because the way you not only eye this tomato that's coming towards you, predict its trajectory, catch it gracefully without it bursting in your hand, and then you line up a shot and send it flying directly towards Ciri, the back of Ciri's head. Ciri, as you're walking towards Geralt, you don't sense anything, but suddenly on the back of your head, you feel this hard but wet impact as this tomato juice starts slowly going down your hair and all the way down your neck and on the back of your dress.
You see, I don't know that it's tomato juice, and I'm sure that somebody's just bludgeoned me in the back of the head, so I'm going to scream.
You're going to scream?
I am. I'm going to use one vigor.
Wonderful. How much vigor do you have again, Ciri?
I have 4. I'd like to use 1, please.
All right. So roll me your spellcasting. Which is... so it's your will. Sorry, so 1d10 with your will.
Can I reroll?
Yes, you can. You have 4 rerolls remaining.
Because that was a 9. That's not... What do I need to...
What is your spell casting again?
My spell casting is a 4.
So yes, you'll have to definitely do over a 10.
Okay. All right. That's an 11.
Wonderful. With an 11, now roll me 1d6 since you're just spending 1 vigor point to see how effective the scream is.
That is a 2.
Luckily, it's much more of a frightened, almost yelp than it is a focused, monster-fighting scream. But suddenly Ciri releases her scream, her magical elven ability, this magical force comes out of her. And in an instant, Geralt, you feel your white hair come flushing back in front of your face as Ciri screams and seems to... Geralt, you don't see this, but everyone else in the bar that is facing Ciri or has Ciri in their eyesight sees for an instant that almost the cacophony of chaos that is happening in this bar slows, as if time itself is being altered by Ciri. And then almost instantly, it's back. Time is restored, but the fighting has stopped. Everyone stands and stares in shock, surprise, drunken stupor, and horror.
That's Ciri?
Yes.
I turn around and notice what's going on and immediately stand in front of Ciri.
Is that tomato?
So you've seen my acts of incredible ventriloquism. I'm glad I've gotten your attention.
All right. Everyone out. We'll clean up this mess, you fools. Just everyone get out. Nothing to see here.
I just wanted ale.
As you see the barkeep kind of pop up from behind the bar, you see this young, red-haired, freckled young man. He looks no older than in his teens, and you're very surprised that his late teens, and you're a little surprised that for him to be a barkeep at such a young age. Get out, all of you. Now, the fight's over. We won't write this on your tab, Bossum, if you get out right now. And you see him pointing towards the gentleman who has started the fight the whole time, the elven man who kind of quickly scoots and maneuvers his way out of the inn as the rest of the individuals picking up injured friends, carefully trying to put chairs back onto their tables and adjacently so as the inn slowly, the cacophony and all the individuals that once inhabited slowly start to make their way out.
So, Olna, what is the second best tavern in Darkney?
You look around and Olna's nowhere to be seen.
Getting off the table.
Where did she go?
Ciri, you need to control yourself when you do that.
I thought I was dying.
All right. Question, what? Witcher, yes or no?
Yes.
Question 2, mage, yes or no?
That is none of your concern.
That's not an answer to it. That's not a yes or a no.
I just gave you my answer.
Your answer is in my inn and tavern, and you gotta give me yes or no.
Is there anywhere else that we could stay in town?
I would imagine so.
Nope. You see, Olna, I saw she brought you in.
And you see a young girl pop up from behind the bar as well. She looks almost identical to the barkeep. See that she's just has longer reddish hair and freckles.
No, I saw Olna walk you all in, so that means that you're on her tab.
Yes.
So, yes, you'll be staying with us.
So you
There's
don't
really
have to
no
leave.
other inn in town. Unless you want to stay in the stables.
I mean, we've got
outside
the place
of
to
town.
ourselves now. This is great. It's exclusive.
Fine.
I will just ask that you answer my brother's. Look, my brother, he's just being protective. What you did there, regardless if you're a mage or not. Come on, Tarly, we don't need to get into people's business.
Right.
Listen, we just want to make sure everything's fine. Everything's okay. We haven't really seen anything like that in Darkney.
Well, ideally you won't see it again.
Thank you. Well, thank you, I should say, indeed, for stopping whatever that was.
So
That
where's
bar
the
fight has
It's been unfortunately a little bit more common as of usual due to the high tensions, but
High
that's what
tensions.
happens.
Girl, can you please tell us?
Oh, I do have a name.
Yeah,
What
this
is
is
your name?
Tessa.
Tessa.
Tessa, and I'm Tali.
Tessa.
And this is the maid's burden.
Tessa,
Yes.
I must ask. That fellow over there, the elf, Bossum?
Bossum, yes.
Why was he so distraught, it almost seemed, about the town and pride?
Well, if I was someone, I would not want to have ale spilled on me to begin with. But, well, there's a lot of people who've taken an unkind liking towards half-elves, anyone with a pointy ear, knife ears, they say, not very kind. As of late, due to somewhat high tensions on the roads between the Scoia'tael and Darkney. So, I'm just assuming he probably thought it was a targeted attack. He's frustrated. I'm sure he's not getting the best treatment in or outside of town, so...
Does he often come here?
Yes, we have elves, dwarves, humans, the like. It was fine for so long. Nothing ever bad really happens in Darkney until, well, the Scoia'tael have just been... We haven't really seen them. No one really goes outside the walls for our own safety, but from what Olna has told us, the Scoia'tael really want to take back the tree in this town.
How long has this tree been in this town?
Well, the town...
Or how long has the town existed? Before the tree or after?
The tree's been around, they say, since the conclave of magic. It's almost as old as the elves themselves. And it was someone's grand idea to come build a town here. I don't know who. Olna says she just inherited it. Knew of the tree's power. And, well, the tree's been protecting our city ever since.
Do you know where Olna stays at?
Oh, yes, she lives in the big house in the middle of town. You could say that she is the older woman. We don't really have an elected official here. Darkney's kind of an interesting place. We all just take care of each other.
Let me ask you this. Does this town have any, library or a training area by chance?
Library or a training area? Oh, I wish that we'd be like one of those big fancy cities that I've always dreamed of. I'm afraid
Or just
we
an
don't.
open field?
An open field?
That's a big difference between a library and an
Well,
open
it's
field.
the reason. But I'm
An
just
open
curious.
field, I would say, yes, if you head towards the north side of town, there is a break. That's where a lot of farmers live, because then the wall breaks out into many open fields and forests that help bring in food, resources for Darkney. That's the safe part of the woods that we're told we can go into. Not the woods coming in, but the woods leaving.
What do we need a field for?
We'll talk.
Yes. Could I get a sword?
I didn't say anything about you getting a sword. I
No,
said
you
we'll
didn't.
talk.
I asked.
If she gets a sword, can I have something with silver in it?
That's a good point. Where's a armor or a weaponsmith around here as well?
Oh, an armory.
Armory, thank
Yes.
you.
An armory. You hear Tarly kind of perk up. That will be, that'll be Egmeld. Egmeld Desi. He's the best dwarven smith we've seen in a long time. His stall is set up around the grand tree, but now it's getting a little late, you might not be able to find him today, but you'll surely find him tomorrow.
Thank you.
It's really
Well,
hard to do things with just a dagger, and sometimes I accidentally leave it in things.
Yes, I noticed.
I want a sword like yours.
You need to learn a lot more before you hold one of these.
Right. But if we could just get one, and then we could have it with me for next time.
We'll see.
Okay.
I want a sword.
It's a good idea
You
to
have a
get some
bow and
silver.
arrow.
But they don't have silver in them, and I was useless last time.
We need some
Almost in-
silver for...
Silver
These kids-
arrowheads, that would
That
work,
was
wouldn't
kind
it?
of specific.
In this moment of
That work?
comfort and conversation, Geralt, suddenly your Witcher senses start tingling. almost sensing a monstrous presence nearby. Thank you all so much for tipping for a monster.
Oh.
Let's see
boy.
what
Started talking about silver?
monster
Yeah.
attacks
Not that silver,
on
though.
town. Oh, how convenient.
Uh-oh.
Number 3. They kind of go up in increasing terrifying levels. So, number 3.
Wonderful.
Geralt, it's not necessarily your monster senses per se, but it's you sense that there is a danger afoot. Your Witcher ears and your Witcher senses pick up that it sounds like there's footsteps running on the roof adjacent to the inn. As outside you hear the of individuals, hard guttural yelps being made, and you hear thuds hitting against the pavement.
Oh, they're on the roofs.
I run outside.
You see Tarly and Tessa quickly duck beneath their bar once again.
If you all would like to, you can go upstairs to your rooms. I'm sure you'll be much safer up there. Please enjoy the Maiden's Burden. It's a very nice place despite a quite horrific name.
So, do you do room service? I'll be going up to my room now, actually.
We just do breakfast in the morning. It's much more of a communal thing. We don't really offer room service, but perhaps we can adjust something.
I feel like maybe this is
Bye, Aska.
This is
Bye.
not the time, Jaskier.
As suddenly an arrow comes flying through a glass window, and just you hear this as it hits against the wooden side of the leftmost wall.
I'm curious. I wonder if those are bandits. I'm just making a guess out there as I run out.
I'm gonna run after him
Go out there too.
with my little dagger.
Yasker, are you staying inside?
Yes, like a sane person.
Out I go.
That's wonderful. Geralt, Ciri, Yennefer, and Marilka, you all rush outside.
Actually, is there
You stay safe.
Is there a window I could look out from on the second floor?
Yes, there is.
Sounds
There's a large.
just great.
As you run up the stairs, you see that there's a large, large window with an accompanying window seat. It's almost in this hallway on this second level of this very nice inn.
I'm gonna wedge myself in and start taking notes.
Why don't you serenade us while you're up there?
We'll start with notes.
Geralt, Geralt and friends, as the four of you run outside, you see that standing on the roofs of the town of Darkney, you see 3 Scoia'tael.
Oh.
They're different than the Scoia'tael you've seen earlier. They don't look like Rashawn, the young elven man, and the older elven woman. These instead look like 3 older elven gentlemen.
What is your business here?
Silence, Witcher. You have no issues, no qualms with the Scoia'tael, and we have no qualms with you. Leave this city if you know what's best for you.
I can't do that.
And then perish. As you see the forefront Scoia'tael, he draws his bow towards you. I need everybody who's fighting to roll initiative.
Time to fight.
Roll me a d10 plus your reflex.
It's exploding. You can roll again.
Exploding.
That's an 8 plus. Yes.
All right.
What am I rolling?
Oh, d10 plus your reflex.
Oh, okay.
That is your.
I got a 16
Initiative.
and a 19 because I exploded.
So a 16 and added to a 19.
Yes.
Ciri, you are going first.
That is a 16.
Yeah, I got a
First
15.
was a 19.
14.
14.
You just roll it flat, or do you add anything to it?
Add a reflex.
It's a
Add
reflex.
Okay, great. I'm going to, in case I decide I want to do something, I'm a 23.
Of course.
All right. Yaskier, if you decide to do something, you are high at the top.
No, I can choose to act later in the round if I want, but I stay at that initiative.
Yes.
All right. I'm just watching
We'll
for
come
now.
to
then.
you.
Yeah.
Ciri, as you look up, you see that, yes, there is an older Scoia'tael with this goatee that is now aiming his bow at Geralt, and you see on the other 2 roofs flanking him are an older bald Scoia'tael and another older male Scoia'tael with a long braid.
All right. I am going to I really only have one spell at this point that I can do. So I'm going to try and see if I can slow them down again, like I could in the bar, see if I can control it in any way. Does it have enough distance to hit all 3 of them?
They're on a very high. They've got the advantage on view as they are still on rooftops. If you could perhaps bring them down towards you, you would have a better shot of doing some damage or stunning them a little bit.
Could I do something that might shake the buildings and knock them down?
Oh boy.
In order to do that, in order to yell at that high velocity, you are going to have to spend the remaining 3 of your vigor.
Am I also going to take the buildings down with me?
We'll find out.
Let's do it. I'm going to go
What are you
for
doing,
3
Siri?
vigor, and I am going to
Yell.
scream at the top of my lungs to try and knock them off the buildings.
Wonderful. I need you to roll me first 1d10 plus your spell casting.
All right. That is a 9. Should I reroll?
You will need to re-roll.
Yes, please. Thank you for the rerolls. All right. That makes it a 10.
With a 10, I'll say yes, that is successful.
All right. So
Now you can
that's
roll
3d6
3d6 to see how powerful this scream is.
All right. 6, 9, 12.
With a 12. Where are you exactly? You're just aiming at one of the buildings, or you're trying to hit?
I'm going to try and spread it to knock all 3 down if I can. Because I'm not trying to necessarily, do damage to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm open to it. I'm going to try and create some kind of shake
Seismic
to take them
shock.
down.
Wonderful, yeah.
Yes.
As you look up, you see that, yes, there's 2 Scoia'tael on the rooftops to your right, and 1 Scoia'tael to your left. So you're going to aim towards
The 2.
the 2 on the right.
All right.
All right, with a 12, you unleash. Do you give any kind of warning to your party that what you're about to do?
I'm just going to go like this and look at the whole party.
Oh, no. No, Siri, no.
And
Siri.
Siri, you almost you start to see Siri almost levitate as her eyes start to roll in the back of her head. You see her veins almost start to protrude on her face as she's using almost all the remaining magical strength in her body to push out this scream. You hear this scream yell, and you suddenly start to see, yes, the buildings start to shake, the roof tiles on these homes start to clatter as they slowly start to fall off because they're shaking so hard. Yes, Gear, from inside, it feels like you're start to experience an earthquake as the panes of glass in the window start to vibrate really fast as well, as you start to see little tiny pin cracks forming in these windows.
That's real bad.
Siri, as you focus your yell and as you yell, you see that, yes, as the rooftops are shaking and trembling, so are these 2 Scoia'tael, including the one that is aiming his arrow at Geralt. And luckily, yes, you see, with your scream, you have knocked both. You see both Scoia'tael fall to the ground. The one that had its bow aimed towards Geralt successfully lands very dexterously on the ground, is not affected. And the one with the long braid that was also kind of that was also flanking this leader of the Scoia'tael, he falls to the ground, and you see his arm break as he just lands kind of on his side.
Sorry.
Siri, you must contain this the best you can.
It was a choice.
Yes, Gear, it is now your turn. Would you
even
like to
less
do
names.
anything?
Are there any more folks on the roof? Or are they all down now?
You see that there is. You hear that there is. Actually, no. You see that there is another Scoia'tael. This is the bald Scoia'tael who is on the roof, almost across the way from the inn that you're in.
Oh, it might as well be a million miles then. Too far away. Too far away. I'm going to hold on and continue supervising this situation with expert managerial skill.
Wonderful, Geralt. It is now your turn.
Who's the closest one to me?
The closest one to you is the goateed leader, or supposed appointed leader of this flanking group of Scoia'tael,
And he was
who
on the
was
ground.
once, he's kind of landed. He's braced himself on the ground. He's now picked himself back up and has drawn out a dagger and just kind of eyes you.
Okay, I want to charge at him with my steel sword pulled out and sort of leap at him and slam sword first into his foot to keep him trapped down.
Whoa! That is gruesome. Roll me 1d10 with your swordsmanship.
That is a 13.
A 13 will not do it for this advanced move. Would you like to use a reroll?
Yes. That is a 19.
Yes. With a 19, yes, Geralt, you successfully do a running leap.
Yeah.
You successfully are able to kind of brace yourself, push yourself off the ground. As in the air, Jaskier, you see this almost in beautiful slow motion. You see Geralt, you leaping through the air, drawing his steel sword from behind his back, and yes, just with both hands coming down into the left foot of this goateed Scoia'tael fighter, who yelps and screams out in pain as this blood starts to kind of soak through his shoe and onto the stone roads of Darkney.
I want to yell out, Baroka, this is lesson 1. Aim your sights, shoot him in the head.
Okay. Oh. Now?
Yes,
I don't know
Yes.
whose turn is it next.
Marilka, it is your turn, actually.
Okay. Okay. I try and shoot the pinned one in the head.
Roll me your archery.
That's another 10. And then a 2, so 12 plus archery, which is 10, so 22.
That is successful. Now roll me the damage of your bow, please.
Ooh, 15.
Wow, our bow does a lot of damage.
With a 15,
Sure you need silver?
as soon as you, Marilka, with a 20, you got a 22 originally.
22 to hit, yeah.
You draw back this bow almost perfectly upon hearing Geralt's commanding voice. And right before you fire, we actually flash back. We flash back to a memory of Marilka's, one that perhaps we have not seen, but one from when Geralt was in Blaviken. You remember seeing Geralt slay a boar outside of town with expertise precision as you just watched as he slowly dragged it back into Blaviken.
How did you do that?
Kill a boar?
Yeah, but like from so far away.
I mean, I was hungry, and this is what I do to kill. I mean, what are you asking particularly? Like,
How do you kill things from so far away?
I mean,
Is it like a Witcher thing? Is it magic? Can you teach me?
no, I can't teach you. It takes years of experience and expertise. I don't just teach people.
You threw a sword and you hit a boar. How hard can it actually be if it's not magic?
I mean, you could do it with other things other than a sword.
Like what?
Maybe a bow and arrow if you can.
I'll be right back.
All right.
You see Marilka, this young Marilka, she runs off and she comes back with this, actually like this longbow that you look like it belongs to her father, the alderman of Blaviken. As you see her, she starts to wobbly, like she picks up an arrow and is lining it up on the outside of the bowstring and just can't get the fingers right. And she pulls it back and then the arrow just falls in her hands. And she pulls it back again and you just see her she's like now holding this string back on this longbow so powerfully. She's just kind of looking around and aiming it at wherever.
I want to, Moroga. One, you have to control your breathing. You're breathing too erratic. Slow your breathing, deep breaths. That way you can control where you're aiming at. Okay, you see that tree right there?
Uh-huh.
Deep breaths. And as soon as you let your breath out, you let go of your target. Now try it.
You hear the whoosh of this arrow. As Marilka, you're taken back into the present. You, hearing Geralt's voice, you let out a breath. You release your arrow, and you see this arrow go directly. Which you were aiming at the
At an eyeball, right? That's my thing now.
Were you aiming at the Scoia'tael?
Yeah.
Not the shoulder?
You see this arrow just perfectly soar through the air and pierces the right eye of this goateed Scoia'tael, who's now stuck. You see his back arches back in pain as he grips the shaft of the arrow, like just holding it, knowing that if he pulls it out, surely his eye will come with him. You just see him, he's writhing. His right foot is trying to pivot and trying to pull his foot out from underneath the sword as his hand is, one of his hands is now grasping the shaft of this arrow that is stuck in his eye.
Oh, so good.
It
Did you
is
see that?
truly
Brilliant work.
a horrifying and torturous sight. The other Scoia'tael, the one with the braid on the ground who now suffers a broken arm, slowly starts to pull himself up and looks at the horror that has befallen his leader, while the bald one on top of the roofs just stares. Yennefer, it's your turn.
It's time to put that one out of its misery, and I just blast flames right into his face.
All right. Can you first roll me your spell casting? So it's 1d10 plus your spell casting ability.
Yes. Spell casting is abilities. So. Is that a 7 or a 1?
That's a 1.
Oh my god. It's
That's
9.
a 1! Is that a
It's
1?
a 10, yeah. Oh, it's a 1!
Oh no! Spellcasting 1.
So we get to do a very fun thing.
That's not fun.
In The Witcher, this is a very fun aspect of The Witcher RPG that is called fumbling.
Doesn't sound like
So
it's
this
going
is
to be fun for
spell
us.
fumbling. So basically what happens when you roll a 1, when making a spell casting check, the magic user will not only fail at casting the spell, but you will also suffer some harm.
Uh-oh.
So I need you to roll me 1d10, and you'll tell me that answer.
Please be a 1 again. It's a 3.
With a 3. Wonderful. Yennefer, as you focus and try to harness this chaos around you, focus the chaos energy of your magic, and aim a fiery blast towards this suffering Scoia'tael
I
fighter.
just want to put him out of his misery.
Almost seeing this elf in such misery, for a moment it breaks your human heart. Just this, how wretched, how could your group cause so much horrible, torturous trouble to this one individual? And it's in that moment of hesitation that your spell backfires on you, and instead of the flames going out, you suddenly feel these flames coming at you, and you take 8 points of burning damage. Marilka, you look over. Yaskir, you're looking down from a window, and you suddenly see that the bottom, like Yennefer, you suddenly see Yennefer is now engulfed in a flame that has been shot back for her as her edges of her hair start to singe, and the bottom, and like the sleeves of her dress are now singeing as well from this fire.
Yennefer,
Yennefer.
you need to learn how to control that.
Not helping. It's hard fighting elves, okay?
I'm doing okay.
I'm doing quite fine, all right.
The Scoia'tael, who has his foot, his eye pierced out, and his foot stuck in the ground, is going to try and move. Ooh, at a cost, though. You see this Scoia'tael, knowing that he is pinned in a corner. You see him close his eyes, grit his teeth as he rips his foot out, and you suddenly see this bloody foot just coming out of this boot that is now stuck with the sword into the ground. As the Scoia'tael, he brandishes a dagger and just kind of almost in a defensive position starts to hobble backwards towards his compatriot with the broken arm on the ground, who is now kind of holding his arm and cautiously watching you all. The bald Scoia'tael, who's on the roof and has been watching all of this, runs. You see, he looks and he just, almost in sheer terror of what has befallen his compatriot, you see him darting and just flying across the rooftops towards the edge of Darkney. And finally, the Scoia'tael with the braid just starts to get up and looks at his commander, almost with pleading eyes, merciful eyes, begging them to leave.
This is your chance to leave.
And live. That
And
too.
live both, yes.
That too. There's no point in fighting us.
He tries to look at his friend, begging him for some kind of mercy, but no. The leader simply stands up a little taller, his breaths laggard and heavy from all the pain, just breathing through the pain that he's endured. No, we will still fight them. They started this.
Literally
No,
did not.
no, we
Please,
didn't.
we are not your enemy.
Oh, yeah? Then tell it to that one right there. Do you know what kind of magic you hold? You think it's a fun little girlish toy to scream,
That's sexist.
and some kind of magical energy will just come out of you, will you? No. As you see this, the Scoia'tael slowly start to realize what has happened in this battle. He looks at his compatriot, and then they both start to run.
Stop them.
I'd like to scream again. I'm willing to go past my
You're going to go past your threshold.
Yes, I am.
All right. How far would you like to go past your threshold?
So it takes from my stamina or my health?
Takes from your health. So each vigor point that you do will take a -5 to
Which
your
is
health.
5.
Yes.
3.
3. So that's going to be 15 points of health.
I have 30.
All right, Siri. First, you're going to roll me your spell casting. And once again, yes, please tell me if you roll a 1. while
It's a
rolling.
10.
That's an exploding 10.
So that would be 14. And then a 13 total. So a 9 and a 10 is what I rolled. Sorry, I should have left that there. Check it out.
So what's your total of 13?
Yeah, so that would be 28.
That is
27.
That does
27.
very well. So roll me your
27.
3d6 of damage.
All right, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, 13. Sorry, 13. Math's hard.
Siri, so you start
13.
to run after them, and you stop, and then you just let out this scream. What are you like? Is there
I'd
anything that's
like
going through your
to
mind?
try and channel it almost through them. I'd like to try and throw it forward in just sheer rage and frustration. So it doesn't expand as far outward, just straight at them.
You do that. Siri, as you push this power, this magic, this scream through you, you feel your energy being drained. You feel yourself becoming incredibly lightheaded and dizzy as this power is just manifesting through your voice and is coming through you. You all see the slight levitation that happened to Siri earlier. You see she starts to levitate even more, her head going almost backwards, her arms opening up, as if this magic is, she's a vessel for whatever force is inside of her. And yes, you let out this terrifying, blood-curdling cone, powerful sound cone of a scream. And it does push through them. In fact, it pushes through the first injured Scoia'tael so well, the one who has just ripped his foot out in order to escape, that you see him almost freeze and then essentially combust from the inside. As you see limbs, a torso, his pelvis, his legs go flying out in this explosion of blood that cakes and splashes against the windows and pavement of these small homes and shops in Darkney. And your force continues as it pushes through him, and it finally pushes the last Scoia'tael running, the one with the broken arm and the braid, as he is pushed almost against, skidding on the pavement right in front of the great tree. You see him look up at the tree and turn around and see you in horror. Although the four of you are still very far away as he's been pushed an incredible distance from Siri's power, you see that his entire face has gone white. That much is clear. As he sits there trembling underneath the great tree, he looks up. You see his mouth moving for a second. And then you see him take out a dagger and plunge it into his own heart in front of the tree.
Well, I've seen just about enough of that. I'm going to go down and...
Siri, you slowly, gently float down onto the ground and then feel that you can no longer stand on your own feet. You're going to need some assistance getting around
Am I
until you're
close to
healed.
him? Am I close to the body?
The body is about 10 feet in front of you, or what remains. Oh, sorry. What remains of the first Scoia'tael is about 10 feet in front of you. The other Scoia'tael is about 15 feet, now laying dead in front of the great tree.
After I fall, I just like to look at the kind of wreckage. I'm the lion cub of Sintra, and I will not be underestimated again.
I walk up to Siri and pick her up. What the hell are you doing?
I walk over to her as well. Siri, it's clear you have immense power, but you need to control it.
I'm not the one who hit myself with my power today, am I?
Yeah, you can't stand.
Enough.
Oh, well.
There's no point of bickering back and forth.
Yes.
No offense taken. I still want to
I
be
make
clear.
my way out with 2 sandwiches, which I have had the twins help me make. I walk out, I'm eating one of these sandwiches, and I give the other one to Geralt.
Holding her.
I'll take it.
Oh, thank you, Yaskir.
Be careful, please.
We should go inside, honestly. That was a lot.
Yes.
I feel like people on either side who saw that are not going to have any love for us.
I'm gonna go over to the elf though. That's in the roots of the tree. Is there a reason he stabbed himself? Like, I'm getting a closer look at the tree as well.
We should investigate this. What ritual must this have been?
I mean, he maybe just wanted to die on his own terms.
I
right?
feel like that's probably
He was
more
looking
accurate,
up.
Yeah.
Before he took his own life, he was looking up, so maybe we can...
Maybe it was a prayer or something.
I lie down next to the elf and look up and see what I see.
Yeah,
It
can I
just-
try
it
and
just
investigate?
Branches and leaves.
I don't see anything. It's just a tree. It's really just a tree.
This tree
guys.
has immense power as well.
Okay, but it looks
Do you
like
not
a tree.
feel it?
Well, it's more
No.
than a tree to them.
Listen, we can investigate this later. For now, we need to rest and recover from you two's wounds.
Our party makes their way back towards the Maid's Burden.
You just had to outshine me, didn't you?
I have a legacy to uphold.
I wanted to start.
Well, then do it better.
Did you see that shot I made? It was amazing.
It was a really good shot.
It was a great shot, and it was an amazing blast of scream from you, but please, it's not a contest.
It's a little bit of a contest.
Well, speaking of a contest, Marilka, you in turn start to feel perhaps a little bad about the aimed tomato earlier. As you look at Siri and Siri looks at you, and you feel a bond being formed, perhaps from this last battle, and you are going to make a promise, perhaps pay a debt, perhaps pay something in forward via the law of surprise.
It was a nice shot.
Thanks. And it was pretty cool, I guess, the way you took down those buildings and then, the two.
I didn't mean to make him explode.
No, that was probably my favorite part. You should definitely make more people explode. I'll try and be better about supporting you and not making it about winning, so that you don't, end up like this every time to just outdo me. It's just not fair to you. You're never gonna really make it anyway. You don't have to take your own life force or whatever to try and beat me. It's just never gonna happen, princess.
I think I get what you meant to say. And thank you.
You're welcome.
Yaskir, you have a moment alone with Geralt. Geralt, you and Yaskir find yourselves...
All right, so new sandwich.
Do you want some sandwich?
Thank you, Yaskir.
Yes, please.
I appreciate it.
I mean, you said that it would be like this, but I should have listened. This is more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I know. I know first thing in the morning, I'm going to have to take them out for training.
Yeah.
Especially Siri.
Yeah, structure. Structure, that's what she needs.
Yeah. For now, we just need to get some rest. We've been traveling for who knows how long.
What do you think about this whole thing with the Scoia'tael and the citizens of Darkney? I mean,
I need to talk to Oni for sure to ask her more questions. She knows a lot. I think she knows a lot more than she's letting on.
I feel like she's the enemy of these people.
Possibly. At least her family.
And she's doing this, obviously, to protect the town, but I don't like killing elves. It's not really what we do.
I mean, we did give them a warning. But...
I mean, what if these are like the elves that we saw outside Posada, like Philivandrel? They've probably been pushed to this. And did you see the way that one looked at the tree before he took his own life?
Again, I would assume it was some type of prayer, or some type of asking for forgiveness, or something. I don't know. I need more answers before I could just jump to a better conclusion. So.
Well, I'll support whatever you decide. But just let it be known that I'm starting to like this less and less. I'm wondering if this is something that maybe that isn't our job to fix.
Well, I mean, the coin is there, and you can't. That's for witches anyway.
We can go find another place.
That's true. May not even be worth dealing with the coin of this situation, but we'll see.
Let's go listen to Olna tomorrow.
Yes.
She can be more specific about what exactly it is she wants us to do.
Yes.
But I'd like to try to go find Rashawn as well.
Rashawn?
The leader of the Scoia'tael that we ran into outside the city.
Yes. I'm sure Oni knows where they are at as well. I'm pretty sure Oni knows everything.
I don't think we should let her know that we're going to go talk to Rashawn again.
Really? Why?
I feel like she'd be biased. I'd like to hear both sides.
Alright. I'll take you up on that. But rest first, and I need to eat.
Yes.
Sandwich and some
Yes.
Anyone
ale.
have any ability to help me out here?
I'm holding you.
Yeah, no, not with the walking part, but the not dying.
I can.
Just need
If
a
you
nap.
rest for the night, you will
Just need a nap.
definitely recover some
That
health
sounds lovely.
in addition to your vigor.
I could use the rest.
I could also help heal,
Yeah,
and myself as well.
Yes,
if I
Yennefer,
can
you
sleep
need
it off, I'd rather
to
just
heal
sleep
as
it
well.
off.
Yes.
I don't need any help.
I have some wine. I just join you.
Wait,
Training
what?
sounds good for these two girls tomorrow.
Are you going to train us?
Does that mean I get a sword?
Do I get a sword? Do I
No,
need a sword?
you don't need a sword.
If you're up by 6 a.m., then yes.
If you give her a sword, maybe she won't
Well,
scream every
we're
time she gets
going
into trouble.
to get the
That's what I'm
sword
trying
too.
to
I'm
say.
just
My
saying.
dagger doesn't
I
do
could be up at
anything.
6
Just we need to rest first. If you're
Rest.
up 6 a.m.
Probably. I think I could be up at
I won't
at
be.
daylight, crack of dawn,
Yes.
meet me outside.
Okay.
Rest sounds good.
Do we want to do the watch thing again?
No, I'm pretty sure we're more safer now than. I'm sleepy. I'm tired.
Okay. Yaskia can watch over us. That's what he's been doing this whole time.
Thank you for noticing
You're welcome.
my contribution. Yes, I'm going to be up until about 2 anyway.
Doing what? You know what? I don't want to know. Actually, I just need to get some sleep
I
already.
know exactly what.
The
Rest.
five
I don't understand.
Rest.
The 5 of you rest for the night. Those of you who have lost health, please roll me 1d10 plus your REC, your RAC, your recovery. In addition to, you will have all of your vigor restored.
All right. So that was a 9.
I got a 12.
So you will add that back to your health.
I got a 16.
Wonderful.
That fills you back
That
up.
that
Yeah.
perfectly restores
risk
your
it for
Oh,
the
health.
perfect
biscuit, you
restore.
know?
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We watch as we
regret
see
nothing.
dawn, the sun cresting over Darkney as this warm clementine orange hue fills the sky over this town. It is early in the morning. As Geralt, we find you standing outside the inn, waiting. Is anybody else up at 6 a.m. and willing
Yes.
to?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Most certainly.
I am out.
I remember when Yaskia played this game with us.
So, Geralt, you are now joined by Ciri, Marilka, and Yennefer.
Alright, first things first, we need to get you something better than that
Yes.
dagger. And
Please.
you don't have anything but that bow, right?
I also have apparently a dagger and some throwing knives. Look,
She does not need any more weapons.
I need
That's
silver
not
though. I
fair.
definitely need silver. The last time we
There
fought a
was only
monster did not
one
help.
thing that
He's a
needs
witcher.
silver.
It'd be nice to have someone else has silver instead of
We need
trying
to
on me.
equip them with
Yes.
silver.
Isn't her dagger silver then? If mine
No.
is. No, mine's just fancy.
You just have your
Oh,
ring.
I am
you
not
have
a
your ring.
princess. Just because you're a princess and you just have silver rings and silver whatever doesn't mean all of us get silver, okay?
Alright, we need to go to that armory first. Eggmill, was it?
His name is
Eggmeld.
Eggmeld.
Eggmill.
Eggmeld. Yes.
Would I know where that is at? Or did she tell me what the directions were, or just do I see any armory? Of,
You
like,
see, you
town.
know that it is within this kind of merchant square that is set up around the great tree. And as you kind of turn the corner and start to make your way, it's only a short distance from the inn towards the tree in the center of town. You see that, yes, there is an armorer, a dwarven man with almost this kind of black mohawk and a huge beard, as he is, you see him carrying out a huge leather-bound, almost satch of swords, as he kind of he dumps them all out on the table and starts to kind of line them up and polish them, getting ready for the day.
I want to come up and look at the swords.
Excuse
look for
me.
a pretty one.
Yes!
Do you sell any silver accoutrements?
Silver! Silver, are you up? No. You're a witcher. Silver. Only witches ask for silver.
of course.
And I see you
Do.
have a nice blade on your back. Are you willing to... Do you want to equip yourself with a silver sword?
Not myself, but these two.
2 silver swords for 2 young maidens.
Even a dagger.
A silver dagger. Do you know what you're asking?
Too much, apparently.
Yes, let me go in the bag and let me simply shit some silver daggers out of my forge.
Tell you
A
what.
coating, maybe?
He's a witcher. He should know how difficult silver is to come by. I can give you steel. I can give you bronze. I can give you any kind of weapon you want, but silver costs a lot. And let's say I do have maybe some silver weapons. Why should I sell it to you, witcher? Do you even have enough? And why should I give it to these two young individuals?
I want to do something real quick. I want to lean closer to him, and
Oh, I know exactly what you're gonna try. And do. Are you going to use a witcher skill?
Yes. I'm going to use is it Acne, I believe? Axie?
Oh, yeah.
Axie's a charm one.
The Jedi mind trick.
Yes. Axne
Silver.
is
Not the
the
witcher you were looking for.
persuasion. It is the persuasive witcher ability. So, in order to do that, you're going to first need to roll your spellcasting ability, Geralt. And if you don't have it, it's simply a 1d10 plus your will.
It's exploding. It's a 10 plus 9 plus 8.
Wow. 27.
That's a
Yeah.
20. Yes. How many vigor points would you like to spend casting this spell? It is going to, in order to convince this armorer to sell you 2 silver daggers or silver weapons, it's going to cost a bit.
We'll do 3.
3 out of how many vigor?
4.
Wonderful. So 3. You're going to roll me 3d6. Please tell me if this...
Oh my god. Can I do a reroll?
Oh.
Is there any way I can reroll?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually,
Not your best one.
have we rerolled on spells before at that level?
I don't know.
don't think we have. So no, you're going to have to keep those. What were they?
1, 1, and a 2.
Smells great.
Not his best work at all.
Suddenly, Geralt, as you focus on on Eggmeld, about to cast Axne in hopes of perhaps persuading this dwarven man even more. You haven't really concentrated this hard on a persuasion in a while, and it backfires on you, and you send yourself back with like a bit of a force as you see Geralt gets knocked off his feet and falls on his behind and just sprawled out in front of the town square. And now you're going to suffer some confusion for a while, Geralt.
Okay.
I'm gonna run over to Geralt.
What is in the air lately? You and me both, Geralt.
Are you okay? What happened?
Maybe that dwarf has some mental fortitude or something. Where are we again?
We're in the center of town in Darkney.
Just rest. It's obvious he's not going to sell us these.
Just a normal sword. It's fine.
Dwarf.
I don't.
Yes, I have a name. What's your name, Witcher?
What is your name?
Mr. Eggmeld Adesi.
Adasi. Whatever. Your name. I need.
You're one hell of a sloppy witcher, aren't you? I've never seen a witcher knocked on his arse in so long.
So you can see why we also need some silver, eh? You know?
Silver.
Even if it's maybe something that we can just coat one of our existing weapons with, or even just like a regular sword for her to start learning how to practice using a sword with, you know?
I would have even just.
Let's start with the sword.
A sword.
Contribute to the education of the vulnerable youth.
What she said.
Marilka, are you trying to use your social etiquette here?
Help me!
Yes. Well, you actually had a potion earlier that enhanced that ability.
Did it?
So
This is my intelligence.
Yes, that's social etiquette is part of.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god, thank you so much. Okay, yeah, I do that then, I guess. is
Roll
what I'm
me
doing.
1d10 plus your social etiquette or your intelligence.
Okay.
With your added bonus.
Can I have a reroll, please?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'm gonna use that then for sure.
Oh no.
What was it?
So I rolled a 2. And then I rolled a 1.
You have one more reroll.
Destiny is
please,
not on your
please.
side.
Please.
Can I have another D10? Thank you.
Yeah, let's
Can I?
use that one.
Okay.
Not meant to be, apparently.
What did you do?
Oh no.
I rolled another 1.
Oh my god.
Marilka!
He just like stares at you.
Can I use my persuasion?
See, like one of knives, like one of these knives. See?
Marilka.
Hold her hand down.
Look! I don't have any silver. I guess I can give you. I can sell you a sword.
Yes,
All I can do is
please.
I can sell you a blunt steel sword for her.
A steel sword would be
That
very
will do.
appreciated.
Perfect.
That will
Thank you,
cost
sir.
50 gold.
50
Can you put it
gold
on-
for blunts?
Can I put it on a certain tab?
Oh,
Witches have tabs now.
I mean,
I thought you were wandering bounty hunters of some art.
I've been
We're
told to put it
rolling.
on a certain tab.
Whose tab?
I put Yaskier on the tab.
What? I don't know who this is.
No,
He's at-
no.
The lady-
He misspelled Olna's
Oh
name.
no, sorry. I was thinking of Yaskier
He
for
looks
some
at this
reason.
sheet of
He's a little
paper.
confused. You need to sit down,
Yes,
Geralt.
yes,
I'm
he
glad you
meant
do.
Olna.
He looks at the sheet of paper. You say you're helping out Olna.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes, that's why we're training.
You see him sigh heavily as he goes back towards his table. You see him kind of muttering to himself grumpily as he looks through his swords. He strokes his beard. He picks up one sword and brings it over to you, Ciri. It is an incredibly blunt steel sword that has a little bit of a crack in it.
We're paying no more than 20 gold for this.
No, this is
No,
on
no,
the
we're not
house
paying
if
for
it's
it.
from Olna. You don't have to pay for it, but
Stop offering money.
it's a safe sword.
Okay.
Safe sword.
And that's the best I'm gonna do, or I'll go talk to Olna myself.
Okay, thank you, bye.
Fine.
Bye.
Thank you for
It'll
your
do for
help.
training purposes. Thank you.
We cut back.
Do I have to like wear it on my back like he does?
You would need a hilt.
Can I?
And a
Excuse me. Do you
holster.
also have a? Do you also have a hilt?
Is there a
Scabbard.
sheath for
It's just
this?
like a holster scabbard.
Scabbard.
Do you have one of those?
why don't we just give away all the free swords and scabbards and axes and knives? Yes, I do. Here, it's on the house.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let's bother him no more. Let's go
Sorry.
start this training.
We cut back to the maid's burden, where Yaskir is casually making his way downstairs, ready for some breakfast.
Oh, yes, I'm feeling quite refreshed.
You see that Tessa is almost there waiting for you.
Hello?
Oh, good morning. What can I get for you? Did you sleep well?
I did. I'll have 6 to 8 pieces of bacon, eggs, tomatoes, stewed tomatoes, maybe some mushrooms, baked beans if you have them.
Oh, yes, so funny you said that. I actually started on a pot of beans this morning. I love beans too, and that's why I was cooking them.
You just knew.
Oh, well, I mean, if you like beans and I like beans, why, that is such a weird, fun coincidence.
Isn't it, though?
Yes, just 1 second.
You see her kind of flustered go back into the kitchen, and you hear her barking breakfast orders at her brother. She peeks back out.
Yes, your breakfast is being prepared. Can I get you anything else?
Nothing else. This is perfect. You've been absolutely enchanting.
Well, I'm nothing. I'm not enchanting at all. You're the
Don't say
enchanting
that.
one.
Don't say that.
Oh,
I hadn't noticed it before, but you're actually quite lovely as well.
You see, like, her cheeks start to flush a pink that almost, like, pops out the copper in her hair as she just kind of looks down and starts to toy with the apron around her waist.
I mean, I never expected a man of such high caliber talent to compliment me. Sorry, we just don't. I've always loved music and musicians, and
Really?
well, we just don't get any bards or really no one. I mean, everyone will play it casually, perhaps, but no one of such high talent comes to Darkney.
Well, I mean, if I'd known you were waiting, I would have come earlier.
Roll me a d10 plus your seduction.
Nice. I have a seduction of 10, so that's a 14.
10? What's mine?
You see her start to swoon as you start to
You're
see.
a 10 as well.
Yes, I am.
You see her. You see her start to get flushed as she almost just like leans over the bar in kind of a provocative way and puts her hands under her cheek. And it's
I'm just noticing now that you're rather on the young side, aren't you? You're quite fresh.
I'm 18.
Ah! Excellent. I mean,
I know it's very. Oh,
she starts to feel a little bit more insecure.
I know it's very young for my brother and I to be running and cooking and taking care of this inn, but well, I don't know. We always wanted to jump into this business venture, but I know I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh gosh, I've messed this up.
No.
I've messed this up as Tessa runs back into the kitchen.
You are fine. Just don't talk to any other bards, all right? Please. And actually, I was wondering if you knew what the nearest exit to the town is.
She pops her head back out.
Are you leaving?
I'm just going for a walk.
Well, there is the southern gates that you came in, and then there is the northern pastures. The walls of Darkney don't really extend upon that area so as strongly as tall. We have a number of farmers that have pastures out there and plant and like just large fields for crops, and then there's a forest.
I've heard there are elves nearby that can be quite dangerous.
Well, those arrows that were last night.
Yes, I should like to make sure that I avoid the area where the elves are. Could you please tell me where that is?
Well, they seem to be in the woods to the south by the southern gate.
Ah, thank you.
They're very keen on coming into Darkney and getting that tree back, which I understand. I mean, if it's magical and it's important to them, then I feel like they should have it, but I don't...
Are there others in the town you think who think the same way you do, who would be fine with sharing this tree?
Well, it all comes down to... Well, sharing is interesting. You see, they want the town completely gone. They want the town destroyed. The tree is so significant to them. It's tied to this land, and they think that the people here are taking advantage of it, and its power and its place. And well,
What do you think?
well, honestly, I wish everyone could get along. I have no problem with magical folk. I've got no problem with elves and halflings and dwarves and the like. If I could, I would wish that we all got along. I know my brother doesn't like elves, and I don't know why. They haven't done us any problem. He just sees them as trouble. Only trouble elves are, he always says, but
No,
I wish we could all be safe, and these are dark times. I've heard what's happened to Sintra. I've heard about Nilfgaard to the south. Olna keeps telling us that we'll be safe regardless. The war will not come here. She seems certain of it. I don't know how I could be so certain of that. War seems to be inevitable.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for your time. We will be back in a bit. Until then, like I said, stay out of trouble.
All right.
And as she smiles at you, you see this almost gleam in her eye that starts to take you back, Yaskir.
Oh, okay.
A trip down memory lane. As you find yourself as a young bard wooing and singing a song for a young duchess. She leans over her balcony as you are on the ground, snuck into her family's estate at night, and are strumming softly and singing her a song from her balcony.
Oh, Yaski. That is the most beautiful song I've ever heard.
Thank you.
Why don't you come up here? Tip, come on. Why don't we go run away? I love you so much. I can't bear it. The idea of marrying somebody else other than you.
Well, I'd like nothing more than to stay here with you forever, my love. But there's a world of danger out there waiting for me.
Danger?
Yes. That's where, the sonnets that I've composed for you and others have been very, very nice, but I feel like my art requires something deeper, a more profound experience.
Deeper? I'm not good enough for you.
No, quite the contrary. It's there's a part of me that needs to be challenged, and you're not very challenging. I'm sorry.
No,
it's
challenging.
It's not you, it's me. I'm a terrible cat, and you're lucky to have not gotten mixed up with me.
I just renounced my title for you.
Oh, you should get a do-over on that.
All of it. You start to see these tears come down her cheeks.
I just gave up my inheritance and my position to my brothers so that I could run away with you.
You should have cleared that with me first,
And
honestly.
now you're saying it's nothing.
I can't feel entirely responsible for this.
She runs back into her room and slams the balcony doors of her room as you hear these sobs. As you stand there, Yaskir, for the first time as a young man, you feel this pain in your heart. You feel this sadness, as if part of you did wish to settle down, did wish to find love with someone, but that sad internal reminder that for some reason she wasn't enough. Nobody's ever enough. Perhaps you're scared to let people close, or perhaps it is the call of adventure. The fear that if you did love someone, you would have to leave them behind, and you may never return. We come back to Yaskir in the moment. You stand there, paused.
Well, your breakfast is almost ready.
Ah, yes. Could you wrap it up? Like to go?
She starts to giggle almost.
Sure.
She runs back in the kitchen.
I think I'm gonna leave.
Oh, you just leave.
Yeah. Yeah, I worry that she would follow. I'm gonna make my way to the southern exits to these elf-infested woods that I've heard so much about.
Oh, back to the main gates.
Southern accent.
Yeah, the southern woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm gonna, once I get there, I'll just sort of walk out into the woods and sort of start playing my lute that Philavandrel gave me, my elven lute, and singing a song in the elder speech, sort of quietly, and hopefully they'll find me.
Yaskir, as you make your way towards the large gates that keep Darkney from the southern woods, you feel this hand on your shoulder. Yaskir, was it? I'm so glad I found you. You see, I've been looking for your friends. You seem to be the one that I can pick out in a crowd.
I am quite recognizable, and my sartorial choices are quite unique.
You turn around and you see that, yes, it's Olna, who has surprisingly found you rather quickly. You see that her black hair with her kind of white, agey wisps are pulled back into this tight, braided knot of a bun. And she wears, yes, this similar scarlet velvet, almost dress cloak on top of a blue dress underneath. Yes, where are... I actually need you and your witcher, Geralt, and company, as something has been brought to our attention this morning that perhaps Geralt can assist us with.
I can take you to them. I think I know where they are.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I do hope that you are not thinking of leaving.
Oh, no, just
Darkney.
taking a walk.
By yourself.
Oh.
It's quite dangerous.
I would never leave Geralt or my friends.
It's quite dangerous if you go off alone.
Oh, is it? I was told this was the safe part of the wood.
No, yes, well, that's where the Scoia'tael are seated right now.
Here?
Yes, right beyond this gate where we did come in yesterday. See.
Well, you've saved me then. I was lost. I may have made almost a fatal mistake. Thank you.
Roll me 1d10 plus your persuasion.
Let's see. That is an 11.
Wonderful. With an 11. You see her kind of eye you for a second. You're welcome. Now come, I need Geralt and perhaps everyone's assistance with the matter.
Certainly. This way, I think?
You start to lead Olna back into town, and as you approach the center square, you see Geralt, a very kind of confused-looking Geralt, Ciri now brandishing a sword, Yennefer and Marilka all leaving a stall in the marketplace.
Oh, there they are. They're over there.
Wonderful. Everyone is here together. Wonderful.
Oh, nay. Oh, no. I'm sorry.
No.
Is
rather
this something...
confused at the moment.
You got up on like the wrong side of the bed or something.
I did not know that witches could get up on the wrong side of the bed.
It's been a rough day
They do all the
already.
time. Explains their attitudes.
Well, hopefully you can assist me with something. Geralt, this might prove interesting to you.
Okay.
As she leads you into the alder house, the meeting house of Darkney. You see that you're brought into this large hall with a number of wooden pews and this kind of speaking stand at the front. You see that there's to the right and left, as soon as you enter, there's stairways that go up to a second level. She leads you up the right staircase, and you find yourselves in Olna's, almost her private quarters, where you see there's a desk and a book stand, a bed, a dressing closet, and it's beautifully decorated but very simplistic. There's this slight elegance to everything, almost an out-of-place elegance, as she brings you to her quarters. Look, I feel I should be honest with you all. I apologize. I fear that we may have gotten off on the wrong foot, especially with the interaction with the Scoia'tael yesterday on the way into Darkney.
Go on.
Yes, well,
Do you have any water by chance?
Yes, I can get you a cup of water. As she
Sorry.
picks up a
She
pitcher. pours you a cup and eyes you, Geralt. She holds it to you. Are you sure he's okay?
Like I said, it's been a rough day already.
He'll shake it off.
He'll be fine.
Wonderful.
You should have had a proper breakfast before you left. If you'd waited for me, maybe that would have happened.
I told you where we were going.
Yeah, you went up at 6 a.m. You said 6 a.m.
Why
Could
two
I-
of you for a chance?
Why does training always have to be at 6? Why can't it be after lunch? Maybe after a nap.
Could I,
Such
while
a
we're here, try
child.
to do something healing on his struggles?
I'll say yes, you can roll your first aid to see if you can, maybe you take a cup of water.
help a
Instead of
little.
letting him drink it, you're going to splash it in his face. Yeah.
All right, that is a 16 for first aid.
Say yes, you are successful in healing Geralt and just getting him back to his senses a bit. How do you do this, Siri?
I'm gonna grab the water out of his hand, and I'm gonna kind of put my hand on his shoulder gently, and then I'm gonna splash the water in his face, and then I'm gonna take 4 steps back because I'm afraid that he's gonna hit me.
You feel this water go directly into your eyes, Geralt, as it stings for a moment, but almost the shock of the water and the coolness of it brings you back to a clearer state.
Thank you, Siri.
There
I
he
needed
goes.
that.
You're embarrassing us.
Yes, so I had heard that there was a witcher on the road, a witcher headed north towards Kaer Morgan. I take it you and your ward have been on the run for quite some time.
We have.
Well, news travels fast here in Temeria. So, yes, I felt it was coincidence that I found you at the inn at the meeting of the paths right by the river. And yes, I wanted you to come to Darkney as perhaps a show-offing presence. I want no harm to come to the Scoia'tael, if at all. I simply think that their demands are too much. Too much for this time. A time of war, and you're asking for a whole town of not only humans, but elves and dwarves, halflings and the like, to leave their homes at a time of war, to find somewhere else that they can live. No, I will not make my town refugees before anything befalls it. So yes, perhaps having you here gives me and gives Darkney a bit of a cautious air to it, a challenging air. Do not come in and mess with the city as a witcher is here. I apologize for not being clear. It just simply seemed opportune seeing you and meeting you on the road, perhaps if by destiny.
I was wondering, what is the offer that the Scoia'tael made you? They said you have 5 days to accept. If we're now wrapped up in this, I'd like to know what that is.
Please share.
Leave, or we will take Darkney from you.
I mean, even with me being here, they will still attack, as we saw last night.
They attacked.
Yes. At the inn.
The
Maidensburg.
Maidensburg, yes.
Scoia'tael, they weren't the ones that we saw in the woods, but
They sent a commander in here and attacked.
Interesting. Perhaps it was a reaction to having you in our city, Geralt. Thank you for this information. I appreciate it. You see Olna walk over to her desk and almost open up a book and write down a note in it.
Let me ask you this. What does this tree mean to the Scoia'tael?
To them, it is a tree of power. To them, it is a tree of life. Almost as if a god is inhabited in that tree, a god that watches over the people of this land. A tree that has existed ever since the Conclave, and I can only assume it will continue to exist. It simply is. It does not grow, it does not wilt, it never sheds its leaves. It simply stands and protects.
and they're not willing to share this land with you. Have you asked if they could kind of co-inhabit?
We have made many offers, but they see Darkney as an abusive force that is poisoning their tree.
Is there no happy medium?
I have tried to negotiate. I have offered all the peace I can. But no, Yennefer, it seems that we are finally at an impasse.
Have you tried? Truly?
Yes.
Are you poisoning the tree?
No.
So instead of coming to a conclusion, you want to attain a witcher as some sort of guard dog?
For the time, yes. Perhaps
Well-
to stall them from making any immediate plans. Perhaps to encourage talks of peace for a little while longer. Perhaps with Nilfgaard so closely in range. Perhaps they will start to see clearly now that we wish to help and that we can coexist.
It's a desperate time. People will do many desperate things to protect their home.
Perhaps you can use the threat of Nilfgaard to come together.
That is my hope.
How can we achieve this?
For now, we do nothing.
Nothing.
Or perhaps you do something for Darkney to prove that you are here to help. I have this for you, Witcher. I found it on the notice board, and I also heard about it in town. I thought it might interest you as she slides a note your way. You see, there's a little shepherd boy and his sister. On the edge of town to the north, they have a small pasture full of sheep. He claims that there are wolves coming in and attacking his sheep every night.
Wolves, bad news.
Not as a coincidence. Many farmers have remarked of hearing howls in the night. Sheep, other farming animals, cows, the like, going missing, killed. And yes, Horace's father was also a victim of one of these attacks recently.
There we go.
So now that it seems the wolves are attacking people, I would hope that you would do this town a good service, as I will pay you as well. Bring light to this town, show them that you are not to be feared, you are to be trusted, and perhaps the Scoia'tael see that you are here as an agent of goodwill as well. Perhaps they will want to negotiate one more time.
And you're sure it's just wolves?
You see she walks up to you and almost her shoulders to your shoulders. She leans in and whispers to you. Geralt, you and I know that there is something else in those woods besides wolves. You've felt it ever since you walked into this town.
That's why I wanted to ask, just to be sure. Is there any alive people that were injured by the wolves that I could see? Look at their wounds.
I would have you go talk to Horace and his sister, Letty. They were the last ones to see their father alive, and it was on their property that their father was slain. In a terrible, terrible way. I just ask that you be kind to this young boy and his very young sister.
How much coin are you offering?
You see her reach out from behind her desk. She turns a key in a drawer and pulls out this red satchel of coins. She puts it on the desk. 100.
I mean, that's less than our usual rate, but seeing as you are clearly under a lot of pressure, does that work for you?
You see her look into the drawer and pull out another sack. 200.
That's a little
There we
closer.
go.
Still, wouldn't really cover all of the expenses if you were to think about it.
Do
So many
100
more of us now.
Each.
Oh, a lot of us.
Now that is more like what we're used to getting, a crack squad of professionals that you have no other alternative to hire.
You want it done. 100 each.
I apologize. I did not know I was paying the entire party. I thought I was paying a witcher.
It's a team effort.
Exactly.
We all have our own specialties.
That's his. What? She starts to giggle and laugh. Geralt, when do witchers work in teams? I've not heard of anything like this from Vesmir or my brother Corvo.
Time
Is this
change.
something new?
I'm trying something new. Yes.
Interesting. Well, fine. 100 each. As you see, she reaches into her drawer and pulls out a larger black satchel of gold. We can count this all once you've returned. And once you have relieved my people of this threat and this fear that lies within their walls.
It'll be done.
Thank you.
Well, I guess we're not getting our normal training day.
We should probably take it though.
Yeah,
Going
we
right
get to
away.
train
Let us
like this
investigate.
instead.
I can use
I mean, you'll be training still, but
I get to use my sword. It's not sharp.
I just leave it.
Let us go. Let us go.
As the five of you walk out of the main meeting hall of Darkney, you start to take the path that Olna directed you towards, heading towards the northern side of town. You see, as you move farther down the path towards the northern edge, the apartments start to grow smaller and smaller, and then you're reaching townhomes, and then you're reaching smaller homes until you're finding yourself in more open areas, fields and pastures of baaing sheep, as you see a small cottage near the edge where the wall starts to end around Darkney, and simply a fence encases the open pasturing lands and farmlands of the townspeople.
So I tried to go talk to Rashawn, and Olna intercepted me. I don't think she wants us talking to the
So that's what
Scoia'tael.
you're up to. Okay.
What did you find out?
Well, nothing, because she caught me very quickly. She's a mage, right? She must have used her arcane power. No one else could have found me. I was very stealthily.
Now, why would she not want us to communicate with the Scoia'tael?
There's got to be another side to the story. There always is.
There absolutely is.
I don't
Something
trust
she's
her.
not telling us, and this has something to do with that notebook of hers.
I don't trust her, and I could tell that you didn't either.
I want to know what's in the locked drawer other than money. Even if it's just money, that's kind of cool.
The thing, though, is even if she's trying to deceive us in some way, it doesn't change the fact that the people of this town need the protection of this tree.
They do. Yes.
Could you do the thing that you did to the man at the inn? Where you reached in his head.
I'm thinking about it.
It did make him terribly upset, though.
I mean, and elves, I think, will be especially sensitive to
Yes.
those
Well,
sort of
to Olna.
interventions.
That is a
To
last resort.
Olna, not to
To Olna,
the
yes.
elves.
But I'm going to say that as a last resort. For now, let's investigate this monster in this area.
And we're
perhaps-
gonna see her again when we, kill whatever the thing
Yes.
is happening.
If we don't
and
get
we'll see her
answers
again.
here, we can get. I will get answers there.
Question, are there any stats for my sword?
Yes, because it is a blunt weapon.
Club.
It is 2d6.
Hey, that is more than my punch, kick, or dagger.
And speaking of items, there have been more alchemaic gifts bestowed upon you. Geralt, Yennefer, and Jaskier, you are each getting an alchemy advantage.
Nice.
Geralt, you are getting a +3 to your next intelligence roll. So anything with deduction, monster lore, social etiquette. Yennefer,
Which comes up a lot more than you think it would.
Yennefer, you're getting a +3 to your empathy. So anything that's charisma, deceit, gambling, leadership, persuasion.
Nice.
And Jaskier, you are getting a +3 to your reflex. So anything with brawling, dodging, melee, riding, or small blades.
Thank you. Thank you.
Might mean you have to actually fight with us this time.
And your initiative, yeah.
It could be used for running away, I'm sure.
Dodging away.
As you approach this cottage, you see this little girl sitting on a fence post. She looks younger than the age of 10, as she is braiding these tiny little flowers into a little flower necklace.
Hello there, little girl.
Okay, I guess she's gonna talk.
I mean, please join.
Yeah, girl talk time.
Girl talk time.
Oh, hi.
I love the daisies you got there. That's very,
Thank you.
very nice little chain you have.
They were my mum's favourite.
Where is your mum?
She's dead.
Can you?
She's gone.
just
But
gonna-
she watches over us. That's what my brother says. That's what Horace says. He says Mama and Papa watch over us now.
I'm gonna whisper to Yennefer, and she'll be like, "Just try not to be scary."
It's a little hard.
I know.
Perhaps you two can approach this girl.
Can you take us to your brother, to Horace? We're here to see him.
She jumps down from the fence post. You're here to see Horace?
And you. We want to speak to you too.
Me? Oh, I don't have much to say. But yes, if you're here to help Horace, yes.
You see, she like grabs her daisy chain and starts running towards the house, almost like she keeps stopping and waiting for you all to catch up as she runs a little bit more. Come on, hurry! Hurry!
That was what we wanted.
We follow.
Right? All right, I'm running.
I follow.
I follow.
You walk into this small, cozy cottage where it's only a dirt floor. You see that there are 2 beds, a large bed, and then a smaller child-sized bed. You look around, there's a stove, but the fire is barely lit. There's dust and almost these food debris everywhere. A broom has clearly not been used in some time. Clothes lay scattered all over the ground. As you see, there's a young boy on the ground, slightly older than his sister, probably around 12 years old, who is sharpening a small knife on a whetstone on the ground, cross-legged.
Are you Horace?
Oh, yes. Yes, are you? Did Olna send you?
We're here to help.
Wonderful. There's these horrible wolves that have been attacking our sheep and now people.
Have you seen these wolves?
No, I'm too scared.
Have you seen any tracks?
We have seen. Come.
Can you lead us?
Come! You see
go.
Horace bolts out of the cottage with Letty running closely
Running so
behind
much.
as he leads you towards an edge of the fence where you see it's completely smashed and broken, and it leaves an open gap into the beginning of the woods to the north of Darkney. You see that there's these
are not
I'm
wolves.
there are
Sorry.
these claw marks on these broken beams, and you see pools of blood from what you can imagine were sheep being dragged off.
I mean, if I was a wolf, I would jump over a fence. I
Geralt,
would.
what do you think it is?
These are absolutely not wolves.
Let's not freak
I'm
out
gonna
the
make a
kids too
guess what these are, but could I do? Can I analyze this the area just to be sure?
Yes, you can use your intelligence. Would you like to use your monster lore?
Yes.
Roll me 1d10 plus your monster lore, and don't forget to add your bonus.
Okay.
Yeah, you're all hopped up on that alchemy.
much. Good alchemy.
Oh, the bonus.
And intel you said or no?
Monster lore.
Oh, 14. Yeah, 14.
With a 14, what clues are you trying to put together?
I'm trying to see how big the footprints are, as well as the claw marks on the area.
You see that the claw marks on these broken fence beams do look wolf-like. You see that they almost follow a paw-like pattern, but are incredibly large. And you see, Geralt, you're able to zoom in, you're able to like look closer at the ground where you see these pools of blood, these sheep and other other livestock were pulled off into the woods. You see that there are these large human-like paw prints that are even larger than your feet, slightly, that lead off into the woods.
What do these look like?
Geralt, what are you looking at?
It's a she-wolf, isn't it? I know you said they didn't exist, but I think, is it a she-wolf?
No, well, no. But I believe these are werewolves.
I'm not clear on the difference, but they both sound terrible.
Imagine a wolf with a humanoid body.
Well, werewolves are real and she-wolves are not.
Which bits are the wolf bits and which bits are the human bits?
Are they all mashed up?
You think it's a
Maybe
werewolf?
we should ask
Yes,
these
it's a werewolf, definitely.
So a werewolf got my father.
Unfortunately, yes. Was it just one, you think?
Well, I don't know. It was a very bad night. I just remember hearing the screams of my father, and it woke me up. I felt like I didn't know where I was, and
I'm so
It's
sorry.
okay, child.
Did-
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to
It's
ask.
all right.
You see that Letty is still there and just standing there and hearing werewolves. You just see this little girl start to get so terrified as
I cover her ears.
her eyes start to well up with tears.
Are you two alone? Is there no other family?
It's just me and Letty now. Just out here, taking care of Pa's sheep.
I want you to please go into town tonight. Go
Tonight?
seek refuge in there. Do you have anyone you know in there?
I'm sure maybe someone would be kind enough to open their roof to us, or maybe Olna can help us find.
Seek
Yes.
Olna. Seek
Go-
Olna.
I
Yeah,
don't want
go
to
to the
end up
Maiden's
an
Burden.
orphan.
And
Maybe not the maid. Do you know where the Olna's house is?
Yes,
Please go there tonight. Stay indoors.
stay indoors.
And tell her that we sent you there.
Okay.
Quick question. I don't know how to ask this in a delicate way, so I'm just not going to. You found your father's body, right? Or he just disappeared?
Letty, go inside.
As you see the little girl,
I'll take Letty by the hand and I'll lead her.
Yeah.
in.
you
Let her
lead
go.
Letty back to the
Mhm.
home.
Don't forget your daisies.
Thank you.
You see Letty just like almost like blankly just moves and walks back with you, Siri,
I
back
want
to
to
her
see you
cottage.
weave it twice as long, and I would love to see that, Letty. Can you do that for us?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Horace takes a step towards you all.
I found his body in the woods, right past where the fence is broken. He was mangled up, something fierce. Big claw marks across his face, and just limbs missing, and
Don't think about it
it
anymore.
ain't-
Don't.
I'm sorry, I can't. I'm not a man. I can't talk about it. I'm sorry. It just.
It's okay.
No, that's
It's okay.
You're fine. You've been very strong.
I'm sorry.
You've done a great job taking care of your sister, and you need to keep doing that.
Okay. But you'll stop whatever this is. You'll kill it.
Yes.
You'll find it.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Did the accident happen at night or day?
It happened in the evening,
Okay, that is all I need to know.
right as the sun started to go down. It was a rainy day, kind of like today. You look up for the first time and you start to see that clouds are slowly forming overhead. Low, rumbling, dark gray clouds now blanket the sky and not letting any sunlight in.
All right, well, it's time for us to take care of the issue.
While I'm inside helping Letty with her daisy chain, could I by chance sharpen my sword?
You want to sharpen your sword
I really do. When I walked in, the boy was sharpening his knife.
on a
That's
wet whetstone.
With a whetstone.
That's not how swords work.
Can I?
I'm wondering
It's
how
very
you know how to do
blunt.
that.
Can I? Can it make it sharper?
Have you got a few hours?
Will it?
No.
Take
It will
Does it
take.
take hours?
I mean, you need a spinning stone. You need a very powerful stone to sharpen the blunt edges of the sword. But I will say, you find the stone. We can roll to see if you do anything that may help the sword.
All right.
Roll me
Hey,
1d10.
I'm working with what I've got.
It could be an ongoing
Fight
project.
me.
In
I'm
your
gonna
downtime.
say roll me 1d10 plus your reflex.
Marilka doesn't know anything about that.
Nope, Marilka doesn't know anything about
That's a 10. That's explosive.
Go ahead.
So plus my
Magic.
reflex,
Mm-hmm.
which would have been a 19 plus a 12. Or I'm sorry, a 11. So 19 and 11, that puts it at
30.
20.
30.
A 30. Wow, I'm really failing myself today. Numbers
With-
ain't my strong suit.
With a 30.
Yes, with a 30.
Boom. You
You have a
look
gift.
around and you actually see in the corner, you kind of, as you walk in this cottage with Letty, you see she sits down on the large bed and you see her almost like pull this nice, beautiful purple shawl out from underneath a pillow on the bed as she just holds on to it and just kind of curls up on the bed with it. And as you look around the cottage, you see that there's a small room off to the side where it's more of a storage room. There's a few crates and barrels and shelves holding dried foods, shears for sheep. And then you see in the corner, you actually see a very, very old small grindstone, like a foot pump grindstone. And with your 30, you just take sword to stone, and you're able to sharpen your blade. You're able to make it less blunt. I'll say you're able to sharpen one side of it.
All right.
Because you're not, even though you did roll a 30, this is not something that you normally do.
Fair.
But I will say you can add a +3 to your sword now. Now that it has one, the right side is a much more, it has an edge.
All right. I'd like to just kneel down next to Letty and kind of take her hand while she's laying down and just say, we're going to find whatever did this, and we're going to make it as right as we can, and I'm sorry we weren't here sooner.
Thank you.
And head outside to join the party.
I want to be just following the tracks.
You want to follow the tracks into the woods?
I
Yes.
follow Geralt.
Man, I wish I had some silver right about now.
It would have been nice, but we'll make do with what we got.
Yaskia, you want to accompany us, or do you feel that...
No, I think I should go along. I mean, I'm usually so helpful. Yes, of course.
So.
You know, I'm very brave. I don't know why you'd even suggest that I wouldn't want to come along.
Who's
Should I
gonna
not?
tell our
Moments.
story?
Should I not? I
I'm
will. I definitely will.
I'm just asking if you...
Thank you. Your concern for
I
my
mean,
safety is truly touching.
I didn't see you out there with the Scoia'tael yesterday. I'm just
I
curious.
was up in the window. There was one, and if that bald one, and if he had done anything like a jiffy, I would have been up there on the roof like a cat burglar to pull his ankle. I had a whole plan.
Sure.
But it was not necessary since Ciri kind of ended that situation.
Yes. All right.
But I was ready. I was very ready.
All right.
Sure.
Well,
And I'm ready now. I have my poignard, and I'm going to stand behind Marilka and you, and where I'm ready to go.
As you make your way into this forest, as fields and plains slowly become more and more wooded, the trees become thicker around you. There's almost this light fog that dances over the forest floor beneath your feet as you start to feel the small droplets of rain falling from the sky above you. You look up and you see that, yes, the sky has become incredibly dark with these huge lumbering clouds. You hear this soft, like, rumble of thunder off in the distance. No lightning yet. And as you make your way through this forest, Geralt leading our crew, you're following these large wolf and human-like footprints. Thank you, everyone who donated another monster. Oh, boy. Ooh, I think I know what this one is.
Oh,
Let's see.
jeez.
1,
I'm gonna
2.
look over to Yennefer and say,
That's 1, 2,
I will try
3,
to be careful.
4.
I've seen how you can tap into the chaos, girl. Just work with it, not against it.
Okay.
Control your emotions until the time is right.
As you start to make your way through this thicket, Darkney slowly disappearing behind you, Geralt, you're the first to hear the low, grumbling snarls of a terrifying undead creature. You hear them as you start to hear these feet running and grasping at the leaves on the ground, kicking up the leaves as they run.
Geralt,
as
I
you
think
hear
there's a
this,
creature ahead of us.
as you hear
Yes, I hear
these
it.
heavy breaths of these necrophages as they run around. And suddenly, emerging from around the trees, you see 3 ghouls circling your group. These ghouls are terrifying. They look like undead humans mixed with some kind of otherworldly creature. Their skin is this decaying pink and red. Their eyes completely black. Their jaws triangular and jagged with gnarling teeth as the saliva drips down from their mouths as they eye you as their next meal. You see these ghouls encircling you, and it is time for everyone to roll initiative. So roll me 1d10 plus your reflex.
All right. 13.
13.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Your 1d10 plus your reflex.
No.
It's a 1, but it's a 13.
Oh, it's a 1, but it's a 13.
Can I re-roll? Cancel or no?
It's just for initiative,
Oh,
so I
okay.
think you're fine.
I also rolled a 13.
Well,
I rolled 11.
I have a 12 with my alchemy bonus. My reflex.
all right. Let's see. Did you do well?
Oh, jeez.
Right.
Wonderful. Geralt, you're first.
I am?
Yes. Well, we have 3 13s.
Oh, okay.
So, I just listed you at the top.
Okay. I take out my silver sword, and which one is? Are they all at the same length, or?
You see that, yes, they've now put you in a circle. The 3 of them are just slowly circling you.
I'm going to run at one of them and try to cleave off one of his legs to keep him from moving.
Roll me your swordsmanship.
It's like 10 plus 6, so 16, so 26.
26, yes, that hits. So then roll me your damage.
Okay.
You enjoy cleaving arms. Marilka enjoys piercing eyes.
It's a 6.
Make people explode.
You make people explode.
Branding.
12.
With a 12, yes, with your silver sword, you take it and almost in this beautiful sweeping motion, you come down, watching this ghoul as it slowly circles its way towards you. You see that now they're starting to pick up and starting to kind of get tighter and tighter and tighter as they push your group like prey into a tighter circle, unable to escape. And with one swift move of your silver sword, you take it down, and yes, you slice off from like the shoulder blade the right arm of this ghoul that's now facing you. This ghoul starts to screech and cry out in pain, and in fact attracts another ghoul into the mix in its cries. But now it's the ghoul
I thought
that
you were going for the leg.
I thought I didn't hit the leg. Yeah, it was a leg.
Oh, it was the leg. Apologies. You slice off the right leg of this ghoul. As it starts to screech out in pain, another ghoul comes running out to join its ghoul pack. And you start, as this ghoul that you've now kind of sliced its leg off of, you see the blood is pooling into these decaying leaves underneath it as it starts to try and push itself up and tries to scramble away. But for now, it is unable to leave its current spot. Its claws still trying to swipe at you in a close range.
Marilka, remember your breathing. Siri, I know we haven't done any swords training yet, but you might as well test that sword out.
All right.
Marilka, it is now your turn.
Don't I get a pep talk of some sort?
What do you have?
Sing us a song, Jessica.
Fine, I'll improvise.
I'm gonna try and take the thing's eye out that's missing a leg.
Your archery.
Plus archery, 18.
18, that will hit.
Okay. Oh, well. 19.
A 19. I will say yes. As you pull your arrow back, you take one breath and you release it, and the arrow pierces right through the right eye of this ghoul. As it sends it kind of, the force of your arrow sends this ghoul kind of scooting through the leaves backwards as it starts clawing now at its eye. And you start to see like this kind of ghoulish, dark black blood start to seep out of its eyes. It starts clawing for the arrow, trying to claw for the ground. And now the other ghoul joins. The other ghoul that had summoned with its call has now joined the circling group.
Oh.
Siri, it is your turn.
All right, I'm going to attempt to use my steel sword. I'm going to try to do what Geralt did and stab it through one of their foot to keep them in place.
Oh, you want to do that on the ghoul that's injured or another one?
Another one.
Wonderful.
Okay. Not fantastic.
That's
that
with your
would be
swordsmanship, or if you don't have that skill, it'll
Show
just be
around.
with your reflex, straight reflex.
Right, that would be a 12. Can I reroll?
You can reroll.
Oh, thank you. All right, that makes it an 18.
That will do some damage. So now roll me your sword's damage.
All right, that is 2d6 plus 3. All right. Okay, so that's an 8 plus 3. That is an 11.
With an 11. So you try to mimic Geralt.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
see
yeah.
that this one is circling closely like it did with Geralt. You take your slightly sharpened blunt weapon and you come down on this ghoul's foot. And unfortunately, Geralt's blade was silver and it was very strong, clean, and sharp. Yours is not as sharp, so as you push your sword down, it takes a little bit of strength to push this blunt weapon through the foot of this ghoul. As you hear this ghoul just like, it's like screeching out in pain as you hear its foot crack and it's
Keep
like
hold of
its
it.
bones break underneath
Stay focused.
your sword, and you're now kind of stuck in place. You are unable to withdraw your sword from this ghoul's foot.
Why was
and
it
you're
so
just kind
much
of
more horrifying when I did it?
You're stuck to
Not
this ghoul.
sharp.
It's okay. It's okay.
Now it is the injured ghoul's turn.
Awesome.
So that injured ghoul.
Right in front of
The injured ghoul sees you, Geralt, and is mostly upset with you, and so it targets you as with one foot comes hobbling towards you, just throwing the last of its energy as this black blood is seeping out of it. It throws it's bracing itself with one arm, but it throws its other claw right towards you. You must dodge a 14.
What am I rolling? The D10 plus?
Your D10 plus your dodge or escape, and if you don't have that skill, it is your reflex.
Okay. The 10 plus 8, so 18.
An 18, yes, you successfully and narrowly kind of just are able to kind of sidestep this ghoul. It's getting very, very chaotic with its movements as it's now fighting and breathing its last breaths. We then go to Yaskir. You see that there is this ghoul that's kind of on its last limbs, as now Geralt has just dodged out of the way of. Ciri is stuck to a ghoul, and there's two more ghouls that are kind of like they're starting to kind of join up next to each other and readying an attack.
All right, so Ciri has one sort of tethered in place.
Yes.
And she can't go anywhere until that one's.
Well, she's gonna have
dispatched,
to like try to pull out her sword next time. Right now, her sword's kind of stuck in this
All
thing.
right, I'm going to run. I'm going to run for the one that she's got pinned, and just with both hands and my dagger, and just try to kind of just slam into it with the dagger at like head height.
Is it your poignard or your dagger?
A poignard is a small
Poignard.
dagger.
Yeah. Oh,
Is
yes.
it a small dagger?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So roll me 1d10 plus your swordsmanship. If you don't have that, it is your reflex.
Stage swordsmanship, but not actual swordsmanship is not on my sheet. You said it was reflex. Otherwise, then that's a 13 for me.
You're going to have to do a little bit better
All
than
right.
a 13.
Is there a reroll that I can use?
Yes, you can use up to 2 rerolls.
Okay. Oh well, that's not any better. That's a 1. So,
Oh, no.
You have one more reroll.
but I can't
Right.
I can't reroll once it's a 1 though, right?
That is just for spells.
Oh, that's just for spells.
Yeah,
All right.
you're good.
All right. So let's
Please
come
help.
The
and
only
also-
reason it was a problem for me is because I rolled a 1 and then I rolled another one.
All right. So
Also,
that
please
is
don't hit me. I'm right here.
that is an 8 plus 4, 12.
That's still bad.
With a
Still.
12.
Yeah.
I will say, Yaskir, you're running up to this ghoul, trying to assist Ciri in any way you can. And as you run up with your poignard, instead this ghoul kind of ducks its head, and you end up sticking your poignard into the tree that was kind of almost directly behind it.
God, I thought I was gonna get stabbed.
Take that, evil tree! Do not become animate and attack my friends.
But unfortunately, you kind of now getting stuck in this tree and having to pull your dagger out of the tree.
It's the thought that counts.
It leaves you somewhat prone, and so the next, of course, is that ghoul. The ghoul that is pinned by Ciri. And you being the closest one, you've actually done Ciri a favor. You are now the ghoul's target. So, this ghoul...
is great. This is going exactly how I envisioned it.
Babysitter
This
ever.
ghoul's going to use not only its claws, but also its jaws to try and take a bite out of you.
Out of my luscious ass.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Out of your luscious quad, more along the lines of it's going to take a big chunk
They
out
are
of your
both,
leg.
They are both luscious.
Quite
It was
thick. 3 C's.
And you are going to what is your you're going to have to beat a 17
with
dodge.
And you can add the plus.
I have to beat a 17?
Yes.
Oh.
That is what this ghoul rolled.
I don't that reflex thing didn't count. It only counted for the one action, right? For initiative?
I will say you can use it now. It should not have initiative. It does not account to alchemy.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's it. I've got a 17. 7 plus the 3 plus my reflex of oh no, sorry, I don't. It's just 14. 14. Yeah. 7 plus
Add your dodge.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, right. Dodge. Okay. So 7 plus 3 17. Got
With
it.
a 17, thank you, Chad, for that alchemy
Yeah.
for Yaskier.
Yes, thank you.
It just saved his
Thank
life.
you, Chad.
Thank you.
It just saved his life. So
Yes.
yes, right almost as this ghoul quickly, in almost a millisecond between you aiming for the ghoul dodging, you stabbing the tree, you pulling out the dagger, the ghoul launches its jaw towards you. You're able to swiftly just kind of dodge and counter as that ghoul's jaw, you hear the clack and the crash of the bones just like snap together as it closes down on nothingness. We then go to Yennefer.
Is it still pinned by my sword?
Yes.
Okay.
It is now, it was much
wondering.
focus on Yaskier, and so it luckily did not go towards you in that round.
Okay, just was wondering if it's still stabbed.
How's the lightning thunderstorm going? Is there any of it approaching us?
I will say you start the rumblings of thunder are becoming louder and louder. Are you trying to be a conduit for lightning?
Perhaps. Maybe it's a little too early now, though.
I would say no. The storms are quite chaotic in their force, and since magic is inherently the essence of chaos, would you like to use your training of bottling lightning to then control lightning in this battle?
Yes. All right, I shout to Ciri, Ciri, let go of the sword away from that ghoul. Wait, is the ghoul away from her? I forgot.
No, she's still attached to that ghoul.
I'll let go.
Jump
and
away
jump
from
back.
that ghoul, and then I want
I will
to
leap out of the way.
reach out and draw as much energy from these skies into myself, and then in a chain lightning attack around all these monsters surrounding us.
Wonderful. There's actually a similar spell to that. It's called Static Storm. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll me your spell casting.
Okay. Spellcasting is so D10? Wait.
Yes, a d10 plus your spellcasting ability.
Spellcasting is.
Yeah, that's like an 11.
Would you like to
Reroll! Let's use a reroll.
Stop.
Be good.
Yes!
Yeah.
All right, that is a 19.
That's
And
will
explodes.
And it
hit.
explodes, so
Yes.
19 plus 7 is 26.
Wonderful. Now this, how much vigor points do you have?
I have 10.
Wonderful. This will cost 4, but you
Okay.
can make it stronger if you would like.
Yes, let's do 5.
You want a 5. Wonderful. So you'll have 5 vigor remaining after this. So now roll me 5d6.
All right. All right, that's let's see, 8 plus is 15.
With a 15. Yennefer, you close your eyes as all of you start to hear the rumbling of thunder become louder and louder. You start to slowly see flashes of lightning off in the distance, and then they become closer and closer, hitting trees near you, starting them aflame, until finally you see one bolt of lightning come directly down on Yennefer herself as she outstretches one of her hands and channels the lightning into her other. You see almost she starts to build this lightning-like ball that is just being contained by her control of chaos itself. And then where would you like to fire this? You just want to fire it all around?
Aim at the one that was closest to Siri first, and then
Alright.
from that one, just start a chain.
Start a
lightning.
chain reaction. I will say this. You send this manifestation of lightning directly towards the ghoul that Siri has pinned down. Siri,
I jump out of the way and let very much go of the sword.
roll me. I'm going to say you're going to need to roll me a 10. Just a straight 10 to see what it does.
All right. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
You can re-roll.
Okay, it's a 1. I can still reroll.
Yes.
All right. It was a 3. Can I reroll?
Yes, this is your last re-roll.
Thank
Also,
you
you
so
have to
much for
beat
the
a
rerolls.
6.
All right. All right. All right. All right.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
Oh my god, we need more rerolls. Badly.
Toss a coin to
Consequences, no!
So it's a 1.
So Siri, this is what happens as Yennefer Yennefer manifests this lightning ball and sends it towards the ghoul, trying to assist you. You don't let go of the sword, and in fact, the sword becomes a conduit for the electricity. So not only is the ghoul being electrocuted, but you suddenly see the electricity shoot up from your sword into your hands. Your hands start to burn as you start to feel the skin on your hands start to peel off from this fire that's emerging from your hands as you are sent flying backwards from this electric shock.
Siri!
Don't yell it!
I'm just horrified.
Siri,
That was a concern, yeah. That was a concern.
Siri, you lay on the ground and you start to pick yourself up with your hands, but your hands are literally like peeling as like these electricity and this lightning has essentially burned your palms, and you take 6 points of damage.
Siri, I'm so sorry, but I needed you to let go.
But at the same time, as this lightning was shot through this ghoul, you start to see the smoke rising from this ghoul as it's been cooked from the inside. Ooh. And yes, because it was a 15, you said, or a 15, your lightning is able to chain to at least one other ghoul, and shoots. You see this kind of similar bolt, almost like a spider web linking it, shoots off towards the ghoul that was once attacking Geralt, since those two are in the closest proximity of each other. And you start to see Geralt. You suddenly see this ghoul charging towards you. You see this bolt of lightning go through it, and you start to see it like shuddering and shaking until you see this smoke come out of its ghoulish like nasal cavity and out of its mouth as it just shudders and just cooks from the inside and just slowly falls over in the dead leaves around you.
On the bright side, Siri, your hair has never looked so good. So much volume.
Was that the last
Siri,
one?
how are your hands? Are
there's
you all
2
right?
more ghouls.
I'm fine.
Can you focus some healing on it or something?
Let's finish this first.
Okay.
The 2 ghouls now start to, seeing that their 2 brethren have now slowly, unfortunately perished. One of them starts to make its way towards you, where Yennefer and Marilka stand, and the other one starts to make its way towards Siri, who now lies on her side, open and prone in the wood. The ghoul that makes its way towards you starts to lunge at you, Marilka.
Oh, no.
Roll me 1d10 plus your dodge.
Okay. That's
And if you don't have dodge, to reflex.
Cool. 12?
Oh no.
This ghoul comes charging at you, and in the last minute, the ghoul's foot slips on the slick leaves from the rain, and it kind of it falls and it tumbles onto its side. You see it rolling and collecting leaves and mud as it loses its balance, and you barely miss it. Perhaps by luck itself.
Marilka.
Meanwhile, Siri, you see this ghoul, knowing that you're prone, slowly makes its way towards you and starts to unhinge its jaw as it begins to take a bite out of your leg. You turn around, you see this ghoul coming closer to you, yet you're unable to push yourself off the ground from your hands alone because they hurt so much. What would you like to do?
Could I use my could I scream to knock it back? At least? Could I do that as any kind of reactionary?
I'll say you'll have to beat this ghoul's attack.
All right.
Well, all right.
Oh no.
Roll me a d10 plus your dodge.
All right. Does it matter that I have like a +3 to my dex right now? Will
It
that
does.
help
You
me?
can apply that.
Yes. All right. So with my dodge. That is a 16, 17, 18. It's a 19 with my +3.
Wonderful. This ghoul rolled a natural 1. So this ghoul, almost cocky in its necrotic, just about to pounce on you. Its necrotic kind of stalking of you just slowly takes its time. And I'll say, Siri, you're able to garner all this strength and just muster up the strength as you use your heel, as you kind of pull back your leg and just kick this ghoul right in the face, kind of causing its nasal cavity to kind of close into its mouth, dealing a lot more damage than this ghoul was going to deal damage to you, as you kind of send it, as it slides back and braces itself with its hands.
Oh, gross.
Geralt, you turn around and you see, after the ghoul has been toasted in front of you, you see that there are 2 remaining. One that Marilka has narrowly dodged, and the other that Siri has just kicked in the face. What would you like to do?
I want to draw out my second sword. Which hers is closer to me, right? I would assume the.
They're both of equal distance.
Okay.
It is your choice, Geralt.
I want to
Who
go.
are you going to choose?
I want to run to Ceres, but
Obviously.
in doing so,
Marilka will remember this.
I want to throw the steel sword straight at the ghoul. I want to see if I can do this. Throw the steel sword at the ghoul to impale it.
I will also remember
At
that you
the
chose
tree.
me, so it's not all bad.
I'm going to say you need to. What is your swordsmanship skill? What is the number point on that?
10.
In order to achieve that, you're going to have to roll an 18.
Okay. Man, do we have any rerolls?
You can use up to 2.
Okay.
Or I'll say you can use up to 3 in this fight.
Okay.
He still picked me.
So just rolling a d10 plus.
Plus your swordsmanship.
I mean, you've done it on a boar before, apparently. Oh, wait. I don't know.
Oh my god, I'm gonna reroll that.
Do we have rerolls?
Do we
Yes.
want a new one?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
try a new one.
Rerolls.
Do we have dice jails? Do we need them?
That one
Yes.
horrible for me. I'm gonna use a reroll again.
All right.
Oh,
This is your last reroll. And we'll have 4 rerolls after this.
You can do it.
Okay. That's at 18.
I'd like to claim credit for that. I think that was my...
Bardic inspiration. Your inspiration, yeah.
yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's 18.
I will say with an 18, yes, you were able to complete the move that you wanted to do, which was as you run towards Siri,
Don't
you're
let me
drawing
hang
your
around.
silver sword at the ghoul towards Siri, meanwhile throwing your steel blade
Yes.
at the ghoul that is near Marilka.
Marilka, finish it off.
Oh, you're throwing your sword.
No, not at. I'm impaling the one that's dealing with her. So I'm telling her to finish it off.
Roll me your damage for your steel sword and your damage for your silver blade.
All right, I'll do the silver blade first.
All right.
I'm glad you didn't have to catch that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, me too, because I'm holding a bow.
We have no more rerolls.
We have 4 left.
Can I
You
use-
cannot
damage.
reroll
Okay.
damage.
All right, so that's the silver sword is 6 plus 8,
8.
and then the steel sword is. Oh, okay. Oh, that's way better.
Ooh.
6. So 15, 19.
Which do you throw? Do you throw the steel sword first?
Yes.
See, he technically picked me because he threw the sword first before he went over
But
to
he was
you.
more likely to miss yours.
Geralt, you throw your steel sword, and almost you start to see it flying and tumbling through the
He could
air,
have killed you.
headed towards Marilka. But Marilka, luckily, you see that the trajectory of the sword is aimed right towards the ghoul that has lost its balance on the leaves. As this silver sword comes like boom, 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 just twirling in the air, you see it like slice right into the ghoul's neck, right into like kind of like neck sinew and artery, as the steel blade is now stuck into this ghoul. Geralt, you can retrieve this blade once you just go and confront
Yeah.
this ghoul, or Marilka, you could also wield this steel blade as well. Whoever wants to grab this steel blade out of a ghoul can do so if they're able to.
Or you could leave it in there and
shoot
finish it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
shoot it. You've been very good at the shooting so far.
As soon as you throw as soon as you throw your steel sword, yes, you run up towards Siri. Where are you aiming on this ghoul?
His head to like, because he's on the ground, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna just stab it on his head.
You take your silver sword and you stab it on its head and you pull it out, but this ghoul is still like the silver starts to burn it from the inside, but this ghoul is still kicking as it scrambles back onto its feet and is about to pounce upon you and Ciri. Next in the lineup is Marilka.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna shoot this thing. Thanks, Geralt. I'll always remember that you picked me first.
He did not!
15? Should I take a reroll?
A 15 does hit.
Okay, I'm just gonna... Yep. 11 plus 3... 14.
14. Where are you aiming on this ghoul with your bow?
The eye again.
Does it have any eyes left?
I don't think I've hit this
You
one
have
yet.
not hit this one in the eyes yet. Yes, Marilka, once again, you feel confident in your ability to fight in this match. You don't need a sword. You've got all the strength in your bow. And so you pull back your bow, you take a deep breath, you hold it for a second, and then you release onto this ghoul. As you see this arrow, pierce it through this ghoul's eye, and you actually see it come out the other side.
Nice.
As the black blood from its eye starts to kind of mix with the black blood that's already seeping from its neck. As you see it just kind of writhing its head back and forth, now clearly disoriented and losing a lot of necrotic blood, as it's now just kind of standing there shaking its head, and this black ooey blood is just like falling onto the leaves and mixing with the rain around you. Ciri. It is your turn.
All right. Hands are well out of commission. How close is... He's really close to me.
Yeah.
He is. He has just come to help.
Yeah, I'm standing right next to you.
I'm going to try to be mindful to not kill you.
Okay.
So instead, I am going to try and hoist myself up towards it and kick it as hard as I can.
Wonderful. Roll me 1d10 plus your brawl. And if you don't have brawl, it's reflex.
All right. That is a 17.
17, so then roll me your kick damage.
All right. It's not much. All right. That is 6.
With a 6, you just kind of, once again, you kind of rear your foot back and you just punt this ghoul right under the toe of your shoe. The toe of your, the toe of your boot just is right perfectly underneath the ghoul's bottom jaw, and you hear this crack underneath your boot as you see this ghoul's jaw has now been snapped in half in its own mouth. You see these teeth just kind of now pointed outwards instead of inwards as it yelps in pain and kind of staggers back.
Oh God.
Though in pain and now having a dislocated and broken jaw, the ghoul, though, is still looking pretty okay in a fight. The other disoriented one not looking so well. Yaskir, it is now your turn.
I thought we were looking for a werewolf.
Finish it, Yaskir.
Can I just try to... Is it low enough to the ground that I could try to stomp its head?
You're close. Are you going towards the one that's near Geralt and Ciri? Because that's the one that's closer to you.
That's the one that's closer to me. So
I would say, it's kind of... Its head is, its head's not super low on the ground. It's still kind of kicking. Even though it's been it's suffered a lot of facial injuries, its body is still trying to kind of move it around.
All right. I guess I'll just try the dagger to the head then.
All right.
That's probably the easiest, right?
Roll me,
Path of least resistance.
roll me your swordsmanship. If you don't have that, it is your reflex.
All right. That is 12 total.
With a 12. I'm going to say you need a 13.
Oh, do we have any more rerolls?
Yes, we do. We have a lot, actually.
Keep using them.
All right,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you. Thank you. Let's try it again there. Oh, that's not any better. That's...
You get one more.
Close.
So I need a 9 or a 10, basically, on this. Thank you. I tried.
Hey!
Boom! All right, that explodes. So that's 19 plus 4, 23. An unusual flex, but okay.
Yes, here suddenly you feel just this confidence swell up in you. Perhaps this is how warriors feel when bards sing tales of them.
Yeah. It was that pep talk, the good pep talk that you definitely gave me.
As you kind of take your dagger and seeing that Geralt you're following Geralt and Ciri's footsteps, as not only has he come down on this ghoul, Ciri's punted in the face at least, or kicked in the face at least 2 times. And yes, you come down with just your pointy-eyed and just right down the head.
Mm-hmm.
You just like push it all the way down, kind of like because it was so well through the wound that Geralt had already made.
Yeah, I meant to do that.
Roll me your damage.
That is 9 points of damage.
As you start to see this ghoul's now this ghoul's head is on the ground. You see its limbs starting to try and push it back up, but between its jaw and the top of its head, this black blood is just coating this ghoul. This once reddish and pink ghoul's face now is completely just like black, drenched in its own necrotic blood.
I'm pretty sure it's dead. I mean, it was dead before I started, but it's more dead now.
Yennefer, it is now your turn. There's an injured ghoul to your left and an injured ghoul to your right.
Pretty exhausted at this point. I wonder if I can send 2 columns of fire at each one.
Fire, all right. Roll me. I will say that's going to be pretty difficult.
I'll be crawling away.
Actually, instead of fire, can I make lightning? Do I have any lightning attacks? I know I'm a conduit.
I will say you can kind of. It's like the law of give and take. You can summon the lightning that is kind of being conjured around you and above you in these storm clouds.
Not like a chain.
You can funnel it. Yeah,
Siri,
you can
stay
kind of
behind
like
me.
take its energy.
Maybe you saved something earlier.
Stay behind me, Siri.
Not touching anything
All right.
metal.
I guess I'll just shoot two smaller like bolts of lightning.
All right.
One of each. Is that possible?
I will say yes.
How
Roll
much?
me your spell casting. So roll me 1d10 plus your spell casting.
Okay. It's 17.
I will say yes, you were able to do that. Now roll me how much vigor points would you like to spend on this?
Just 2, like 1 each.
Just 2. I will
I
say
guess-
if you really want to finish the job, you're going to need at least 4.
All right, 4. We'll spend 4.
Wonderful. So roll me 4d6.
Oof. Let's see.
Nice.
Math. So
19?
19. Yeah, 19.
With a 19, yes. How do you kind of conduit this, or how do you harness the power of this lightning?
Instead of from above, it's just from all around us.
You
and
start-
then focusing
yes.
it into each hand and deftly aim it in the right direction, hopefully away from Siri this time, and just aim it both at the same time, using kind of the last of my vigor almost.
You start to see these crackles and almost these pops of lightning appear around Yennefer's hands as suddenly the lightning is almost magnetized and drawn to her palms as you start to see almost these bolts just like starting to weave in and out like eels around her hand, this lightning manifesting. And Yennefer, she sticks out 2 fingers and points them in the direction of the ghoul near Ciri, in the direction of the ghoul near Morelka, and just unleashes these fine, wire-thin, powerful bolts of electricity that almost like spears pierce through these ghouls, just toasting them in this nasty. You suddenly smell burning flesh as you see these ghouls who, in an instant, were once alive and now having this literal bolt of electricity shot through them, simply slump over into the wet, dead leaves around them.
Good job, everyone.
Are you okay, Marilka?
We were looking
You
for werewolves.
No, I feel great, actually. Siri, are you okay?
I'm okay. I'll be fine. Let's see if there's any more enemies. How are you doing, Siri? How's your hands?
Hands are not great.
Okay.
But that was
Yennefer,
amazing.
Yes, Geralt.
is there any way you can concoct something out of the area with ingredients, something to heal her hands?
Yes.
And I can assist if you need it.
Of course. Yes. Go
I would-
fetch some
was
mother's
just learning
warts
how to
and
hold my sword.
watercress. See if you can. Let's put together some sort of salve for her hands.
And as soon as you say that, you hear from within the woods around you, oh!
Fuck.
Let me just
As these haggard, beastly-like breaths and steps come pounding towards you.
Well, I'll do it this way.
And that is where we will end tonight's episode.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
Live through another one.
Yes, what will happen to our band of heroes next week? Has the battle with the ghouls weakened them for their next encounter? You'll have to tune in next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time right here on Hyper RPG to find out. Thank you all so much for joining us for another episode, the second episode of our 4-part Witcher RPG.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. You helped make this show incredibly possible. Let's go ahead and thank everyone who made tonight's show possible. We made it to 910. We're so close to that goal.
We're very close.
We're so close to that goal, and we could give away a wonderful copy of the Witcher RPG if we hit that goal tonight.
How close are we to that goal?
We're 910, so it's 90 away.
$90.
So
90.
9 minutes, $90.
Toss 9 coins to your Witcher.
Let's go ahead and in the meantime, let's thank everyone who made tonight's show possible. Peak 1, Shane R., Hawk R&B, Kayla 1992, Shane R again, Peak 1, Real Nerdy Batman, Shadow Uzumaki, J Pistol, Shane R, Peak 1, Speed Punk, Wilder 1251, Peak 1, J Pistol, Werewolf, spelled W-H-E-R-E. We're so punny. J Pistol, Why Do the Dice Hate You? And a Wavy Mooge. Thank you all so much for making tonight's show possible. And thank you to all of our amazing players for encapsulating these characters so wonderfully well. It's such a joy at this table. And if you like RPGs and you want to watch more of them, well, guess what? You're in luck, because this weekend is a hyperdrive right here on Hyper RPG. It is the Best Picture hyperdrive. So it's going to be 5 different games styled after 5 different big films of the past year. I know we've got a Toy Story. Oh, we hit the goal!
Hey!
Yes, thank you.
you.
Thank you, Kiwi
Yes.
Penguin. Thank you so much, tossing some coins to our Twitchers. I love that. And you get a special bonus for that great, amazing pun. Thank you so much. That means we're going to be giving away a copy of the Witcher RPG. So get active in the chat. Thank you all so much. Yay, we made our goal. That means we're 2 days
away.
closer from allowing you all to have the chance to name an NPC in the next expansion of the Witcher RPG, which is so cool and awesome. But back to that hyperdrive, we've got a Toy Story RPG. We've got a Knives Out RPG. We've got a Cats musical RPG. We've got a Ready or Not RPG, and then we've got a Midsommar RPG. So it's gonna be Midsummer. It's gonna be they're going to Arkansas, so it's no longer it's a different kind of summer celebration.
Oh, jeez.
Horror. So yes, it'll be happening this Saturday. Be here at Hyper RPG. It's sure to be non-stop fun, non-stop movie magic. You are the amazing people who make this channel and this show, this Witcher show, possible. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible adventure. There's some amazing programming. We got a Grimdark Dawn tomorrow. And then are you playing Magic on Friday?
No, we are taking Friday off to get ready for the hyperdrive and to help King Gameplays raise money for Australia.
Awesome. Crank Gameplays will be doing a fundraiser here for Australia.
That's on his channel.
That's on his channel on Friday, but that's why there will be no programming here on Friday. But definitely be sure to be here on Saturday, 12 hours, non-stop RPGs. You don't want to miss it. And from all of us tonight, have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next week as we journey into the cliffhanger of the Witcher RPG.